I'm a little nervous tonight. I want things to be right. Nice hat. Pulled down over your face. It's a very important night. Be busy. Do something. Come on, dummy. Come on. Now, it's time. Live and in living color. The greatest world's heavyweight champion in the history of this great sport. And it's my pleasure to introduce...
It's Sunday night and the week's been rough. Maybe you didn't catch up on all your wrestling stuff. Welcome to a show you can trust, with Nathan has skill pumps and Giandra LaBeouf. Illuminerdi wrestling order, keeping up with everything wrestling every week, kinda sorta. If you missed it, we got you. We might have missed it too. So let's talk through the stuff we did get to. Down under like a didgeridoo, but aim at the top spot. Power Rangers show, we looking at you. It's all the same Illuminerdi crew, but our show is COVID sick. Y'all, seasonal flu. We've been through a producer or two. Now Shay's riding with us and he's stuck like glue. We all R-rated. With curse words, weed, liquor, and brew. But we ask Joe for forgiveness, not permission. I thought that you knew. Hey, is this gonna get me in trouble, man?
Welcome to the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order, right here on the Illuminerdi. Jay will be here in just a little bit, but I am Joe. You know me from the Power Rangers shows, but I've actually been on this show more frequently. But joining me is the usual hosts of this show, Nate and Pump.
Yo, Joe couldn't go 11 words without saying the fucking Power Rangers. And you wonder why there's heat. I don't.
Big time heat.
Yeah. Hey, man, we got to promote what pays the bills, guys.
That's true. That's true.
We're burying the lead here, though.
We are burying the lead. But tonight we're going to be talking about WWE's WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view. We're going to be live streaming this, doing a live watch along with you guys. We are also going to be joined by Jay and former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, Justin Credible. That's right, guys. Former ECW World Champion is going to be with us right here live. So this watch along, first of all, Pumps, let's talk. I'm going to start with you for a second here.
Sure.
You're not an American wrestling fan. However, we lured you into watching a WWE pay-per-view. Right now, just looking at the card, just on the just glazing it over, is there anything that jumps out at you as a fan?
Sheamus and Roman.
Sheamus and Roman.
I'm not Sheamus, Cesaro, rather.
I was going to say.
We were talking Sheamus a minute ago. I was like, yeah, Sheamus. No,
yeah.
Cesaro and Roman.
And then Pumps, Nate. How about you? What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm shameless for Roman.
That is also true.
No, yes, I've said it every week for the last month. Roman Reigns is the best thing going in the WWE right now. Now that the other Uso brother is back, it brings a whole new dynamic to that angle. So I'm interested in that match to see what happens there. But there is, I think there's going to be a few good surprise matches. I'm not real into watching the Bobby Lashley, Braun and McIntyre match. I think that's going to be kind of meh, but it is what it is. So let's see. It's the first time I've ever done a watch along. So, and we have Justin fucking Credible here. So, I mean, what's not to like? Hello?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Joe left us again. Look, we can't even get people to stay.
Probably got a call from Jason David Frank.
That was Jason David Frank just on the other line, but hold on. I'm having a little connection issue here, guys.
Vamp, Nate, vamp.
What does that mean? What does vamp
mean?
Mean?
Stall for time.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Well, allow me to shuck and jive a little bit.
Can we introduce our guest? Like, what's going on? What's happening?
I was waiting for Joe. The boss is on the show, and I was waiting for him to introduce our guest because he's sitting out there ready to do a run-in. And Joe's,
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll do it right now. Fuck it. Our guest this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is an former ECW World Champion, ECW Tag Team Champion with the Impact Players. You know him. You love him. Justin fucking Credible. PJ, how are you, buddy? Is he even in here yet? God, what is happening?
He's here, but I think he's muted.
Oh, I know he's here, but Shay is dropping the ball outside the ring.
Shay, you're so cut out of the song now.
There he is. Justin, how's it going, buddy?
He's still muted on my screen.
Is he still muted? Boy, we are showing our professionalism right now, aren't we?
Hold on. There it is.
There he is.
Sorry.
All right. All right. We'll blame Shay. It's
All
okay.
right.
Anything that goes wrong during the show, we just blame the producer.
That was my bad. I guess when I switched over to the headphones, I had to press the little gimmick there.
Justin, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. My voice is a little raspy. As I was telling you guys before we went on, long couple days, a lot of travel. Had a couple of gigs yesterday, but I'm back home and ready to watch a little Backlash with you guys.
We are really glad that you have carved out a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
To spend with the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Joe is back. Joe, you're back. I introduced Justin while you in your absence.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
This is the first time we've done a watch along with this many people too, so bear with us, everybody.
Yes.
So we're gonna go over this card and just talk wrestling and have some fun on this show. So Justin, when's the last time you actually watched a WWE product? I mean, do you watch it frequently?
I don't. The last time I watched was probably WrestleMania. If it's on, I'll turn it on for a minute. It's the biggest problem I find with wrestling today for me. Having lived through and been part of some of the most amazing eras in the business, I was there for a little bit at the end of the Attitude Era, obviously the ECW era, which was influential in many ways to both WCW and ECW and WWE. So my biggest problem I have is the matches are usually really good. The talent is very good, but nobody is over. Maybe as you get older, you equate, there's just where are the legendary cats? And I'm not saying the old legends. I'm saying they've done a very bad job over the past 10 years of preparing the newer guys to pick up the mantelpiece. It's like for a long time, we always have to go back to the Stings or what I'm saying, the Edges of the world, et cetera, to bring up some name because of lack of, in 2005, 2010 of bringing up that younger crop that should be rocking it today. Those guys never really got over the way a lot of the younger guys or the old, the big stars of that era got over.
Yeah. Do you think that John Cena was the last guy to really have that be that over? And because of that, because he's now doing the Hollywood thing and good for him and all that kind of jazz, do you think that the WWE machine doesn't want another John Cena because they're afraid he'll leave? You know what I mean? So do you think maybe they just kind of push people just enough and don't allow guys to maybe, I don't know.
I've heard that before. I've heard that train of thought before, maybe. But it really, I don't know, man. It really lacks, it lacks that emotional piece.
Sure. Yeah.
The WWE has just got to do better, man. Like I should be, like you said about Roman Reigns as a heel, you like his work. You think he's the best thing going right now. And that's true. But, the other guy like Cesaro, for example, I'm not interested to see Cesaro. I've seen Cesaro lose for the past 8 years.
Right.
So as good as he is, and he's one of the best in the world.
100%.
No doubt. But he's a great wrestler, great talent, but he's not over.
Right.
And I think that's been the even when COVID certainly didn't help, but the problem, in my opinion, was started way back when, they're constantly, bringing back legends that have no business being there, bringing in part-timers that have no business being there, which is cool for a one or two off.
Sure.
But again, you're not doing the younger guys that are running with the ball any justice by that.
Right.
They're always trying to give it quick fixes, right? We got to pop a rating. We got to pop Raw or whatever, a pay-per-view, WrestleMania. And, it's crazy. Crazy times.
Another question too. So obviously now in the COVID, a lot of wrestling shows were held without crowds. And I feel that there's independent wrestlers, that are just starting off, that usually have that as is, mainly because like a lot of smaller promotions, there aren't it's not sold out arenas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is there a different psychology that wrestlers would have now in something like WWE, since they are so used to wrestling in front of such large crowds? I know that they're piping sounding to make it feel as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
But that psychology of a match changed because of that?
It does for me. Wrestling without a crowd is the most. It's not supposed. That's not how wrestling is. I know wrestlers today, from what I understand, and it was already becoming that way early. Towards the end of my WWE work, like 2007 with the fake ECW, more and more guys were mapping out everything before their matches. Whereas I literally will not talk to you about the match. I want a finish.
Right.
And if you're not, I've been in the business, 27 years. If you can't call it in the ring, brother, and make it good, then I don't know, because it's an important piece to the authenticity of it, to the crowd. Every crowd is different. Every night is different. You may think you're going in there as a baby face, and if we've seen happen, especially most memorably with Hogan and Rock in Toronto, they flipped the script, and you got to be ready to go with it. I think that really suffered during the COVID era of just not being able to. That's where I equate wrestling to art and being able to create on the fly.
100%. Yep.
And if you can't go out there and feel a crowd and lock up and just start to go and call spots, then you're not a wrestler, dude. You've been watching. I don't understand how young men and women that are in the game at a high level. It's like I got the concept easy. It's what you see on TV is what it is. If you know how to do it, if you know how to wrestle and do the work, it's not that hard, dude. It's just what you do for a living.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you feed off the crowd. So you might do one thing that the crowd is not into, and you need to be able to. I mean, I'm assuming be able to adjust on the fly. It's almost like calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. And
absolutely,
and you want to give. And that's.
I mean, quoting the old Flair Steamboat matches, the great NWA World Title Flair Steamboat matches. They didn't call any of that stuff, dude. You can't call, chop me, I'll chop you.
Right.
You just feel it, bro. You do it and you react. It's like a dance, you know what I mean? And it's like if I get you in the corner, give you a chop, I'll say, turn it around.
Right.
Turn it around. Maybe, keep going. Shoot me off. I'll do, the flippy bump. Hit me off the thing with the clothesline. Boom. Now we're outside.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's not, and when you don't have that, it really becomes, because a lot of wrestlers I notice this used to happen to me with high spot guys, is like, I can't do my character, my cocky character, because I'm too busy thinking, well, okay, I got this spot. Oh shit, that's not. What are we doing here? Instead of just vibing,
Right.
It's almost. I feel like calling it in the ring is almost like a lost art form, where it's like
it is
animation, right? Like that old cell drawn animation isn't necessarily what people are seeing in theaters anymore. It's more of this Pixar style story.
Right.
Even though we see that old 2D animation, I get a sense of nostalgia, like almost like childhood. Whereas I feel like the same way with almost calling it in the ring, whereas like that art form is almost gone, it feels like.
And like anything else too, it is really easy when you're at a high level like they are to, because I understand wrestling has also evolved where you have longer, must be choreographed spots in order to do these things that they do today, more complicated move sets. But there's a way to do hey, we'll get get the beginning, get the finishes, plan those out tight, and then let's the whole middle maybe.
You freestyle it.
There's a fine, I always like to do this way. Call a beginning as a heel. When I take over and get my heat, then it's just listen. And then I'll have a one move thing to turn it around and going into a comeback or into the falses, and then we can do that other stuff that is choreographed and more, So but you could do a lot of stuff. I just think too, it's more of a control issue for the WWE, too, because I've heard that they do rehearsals now.
Oh, wow.
And we never did rehearsals, dude.
Right.
Ever. I did WrestleMania 17, and I don't think we went out to the ring until we went out to the ring.
Right.
I think it was me and X-Pac against Grandmaster Sexy and Steve Blackman.
Yeah. That's when that's when you guys were X Factor, right?
Yes,
X Factor.
Low key, let me tell you some shit. I was looking back at some stuff, okay? And when you guys did, I don't know if you only did it for like a week or two, but when you guys were running those backstage skits where Albert had a title and X-Pac had a title, and
Yes.
that shit was hilarious, bro.
Yeah, those are funny.
That was so, like, it was like Albert and X-Pac would be talking in the back, and then fucking Justin would come up, be like, "What's up, guys?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah," and they, talking over here or whatever, and then Justin would get mad, and then it was really, really like it seemed to me like you were building a feud for you and X-Pac to then and then it never happened, right?
It did, yeah. It was we were supposed to. It did never happen. We were supposed to get the tag team titles,
right,
and then lose, and then split.
Right.
Yeah, and they started. It was when the WCW ECW alliance angle started to pop off, because it all happened very quickly. 1 minute we had, we were doing that tag team stuff that you're talking about. Then the next minute, literally, a week later, I'm going off to the alliance.
Right.
When Steve Austin turned heel. So yeah, that's how that happened.
You guys, like a Shotgun Saturday Night or something, where you guys came out to like your new Uncle Kracker song, and then you were doing an interview, and then every time you tried to talk, X-Pac would cut you off, and you look all pissed off. It was good shit, dude. Because I don't remember it that, like, those angles that vividly, so I went back and I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, why didn't this go any further? Like. So I must say I really enjoyed the X Factor. You are borderline a member of D-Generation X, because they put you with Pac.
It's totally true, like completely true. Like a total, like that was like right. Was that right? Like right after like the whole DX thing. Can
you hear us now, PJ?
It was freezing.
Okay.
No, I can hear you now, but.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that you were borderline a member of D-Generation X because of that angle when they put you with Pac, because you would do so like you were like, if there was like a family tree, you would definitely have a branch because of that faction, because they were trying to give Pac his own faction,
his own thing.
And, yeah. I thought it was cool. I mean,
I would have loved to.
It was cool.
Yeah. I would have loved to have played that out, it would have been a lot of fun. It really would have. And it would have been different for the way everything happened, really. It definitely affected my career, dude. Yeah. Kind of bummed out. But.
Yeah, the alliance thing really kind of jumbled.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, those are some of the most unique times. I mean, Vince McMahon, literally, there were 3 promotions, main promotions running television and pay-per-views, 3 companies running pay-per-views. And then all of a sudden, in less than a year, he buys them all.
Right.
And not only, I mean, I got lucky. I fell on the right side of that because I got a deal. A lot of my friends didn't. I know Lance didn't come till a little bit later. Not much later, but a little bit. And even Dreamer, not till a little bit later. A lot of guys didn't land. A lot of those WCW guys never landed, So I was blessed to get out of there in time,
Right.
Because I wrestled the last ECW. I main evented the last 2 ECW pay-per-views, and even the last ECW house show. And then literally a week later, I end up on Raw.
Did you have to go and who was talent relations at that time? JR?
JR, yeah.
Yeah. So did you have to say, hey, JR, like,
well,
or did they call you? Like, how does that work?
Well, I was still under contract. Paul was lying to all of us.
Yeah. Yes.
I knew the guys that knew. So it's funny there, and there's a backstory to this too. When you mentioned Uncle Kracker, I was friends with Bob Ritchie, aka Kid Rock. Really good friends with Bob, and Kracker his name's Matt Schaefer. His brother Mike is a music agent / entertainment agent, loves wrestling, so he became my agent, and that's why we used Uncle Kracker's music, because Kracker's putting out a solo record from that monstrous Devil Without a Cause Kid Rock record.
Yes.
And he's like, dude, I'll pitch it to Stephanie, and you'll use something a little different, right? Yeah. Something that's not WWE music, and you'll get heat because it's like a kind of shitty, cocky song that's not really what you would expect to hear,
right,
on a WWE show. So, I had Mike Schaefer, Cracker's brother, give me Ross's email, and, I I knew there was no more ECW, even though, like I said, Paul was fighting on it. Emailed JR. JR offered me 3 years with put some numbers on it. And I said, of course. Yeah. And then as I'm going to the building that day, because I think I debuted in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum for Raw, Paul Heyman calls me all pissed off that I turned my back on him. Guess who was commentating that match?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
he was already there, dude.
Yeah, like didn't he show up as a commentator while he was saying that he was trying to keep? Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah, but that's the kind of scumbag shit that was happening. Like instead of having your boy, who I was one of his closest guys, the guy towards the end.
Well, yeah,
who's main eventing and that he relied on, and to tell me like we're gonna I'm going out to LA, we're gonna get TV, don't worry. If I'd have missed that shot, maybe I wouldn't have had a shot, because then everything came crashing down and I might not have had that spot. Sure. So, yeah, just a lot of douchebaggery.
I like that, douchebaggery. That's a good one. I write that one down.
That and fuckery.
Yeah. Well, here we are with the, starting off with this pay-per-view. It's sponsored by Army of the Dead, coming out May 21st, streaming on Netflix. We are not getting paid by them, but we would love to be. But it's a fun movie. But this is WWE Backlash. We get the intro. It's just starting. I'm not going to commentate over. People that are watching WWE Backlash, we're watching it live as it airs. Just incredible. ECW legend, former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, is on the show with us. And me and Nate are holding it down right now, waiting for Jay and Pumps to get back on the stream.
I have another question before the show kicks off. I don't know if many people know this, Justin, but you have a victory over Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I do?
Yeah. Yes, you do. I watched it last night when you were Aldo Montoya, and it was after the King of the Ring. You guys had a singles match, and he came out and forfeited. And because he forfeited, you got the victory. And I think that is fucking something cool that you could say you've got a victory over Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Hey, I got another victory that not many people know about. Myself and Raven on SmackDown got a DQ victory over The Rock and Chris Jericho.
Yes, and you know who else you got a victory over? Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit.
I don't remember that one.
Yep. I was digging deep last night, brother.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was you and Pac. It was you and Pac. And versus them two on a SmackDown or something, and you guys got to win, and it was a really good match. It was like an 8-match match. I thought,
those guys were great to work with. I love working with those guys.
It must have been really fun for you to go from, what was that like to, what was the biggest crowds ECW was getting? About 2,500.
No, our bigger ones were when we did what's that build the Grand Olympic Auditorium in LA.
I was there for that.
We did about 5,000.
Oh, you were there for that, Joe?
I was there for that, and I had just gotten off of work, and I was wearing like a nice sweater, and literally in line waiting to get into the arena, a Mean Street Posse chant erupted, and it was directed towards me wearing this sweater.
Oh wow,
true story.
Yeah, some of the bigger pay-per-views, like when we do Toronto, we'd get like 5,000. Chicago, 5,000. That was probably the max. The bigger ones were 3,500 to 5,000. Yeah. The Hammerstein Ballroom, that nice building where we did a lot of work for the one-night stands and stuff, that was 3,500. Great building. The ECW arena, you could say anywhere between 1,300 and 2,000. But those crowds, man, those were honestly some of the best because that's how pro wrestling was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Everybody was close.
Yeah.
Right. The crowd and the impact and the just the vibe of it, man. I'd rather go see a wrestling or perform in front of a Hammerstein Ballroom, 3,500 people, than a 20,000 seater. Because when you're wrestling in front of that many people, dude, the people are so far up there.
Yeah.
And that's where you really have to exaggerate and perform big. Because, WWE does a horrible job for fans when they go to these big arenas because they're worried about the TV. And a lot of times the people up top don't, that's why house shows were always the coolest.
Oh, house shows
recommended for fans.
I would rather go see a house show
than TV.
10 times out of 10 than TV.
Yeah.
It's more fun. The guys are looser. They're talking
Much
to the
looser.
crowd.
Yeah.
They're talking to the crowd. They're doing stuff that their character can't do on television per
Right.
se.
Right. Yeah.
Like I remember
I was fun.
Yeah, I was close when me and the Miz were jaw-jacking back and forth, and it was fun. Like it was just but if it was TV, that never would have happened. You know, like
and that's the best part.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
Wait, Justin, I have another question for you. On house shows, do you have any fun stories of like something you did in the ring that normally we wouldn't see on TV?
Oh, well, going back to Steve Austin, for a while there, we were wrestling each other. We wrestled each other like 10 times in a 2-week period because we do a lot of small buildings. And we every year, I know they've broken that now, but for a very long time, for almost 3 decades, they would run these musical tents in the New England area, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, all around here. And these musical tents were outdoors in the round with about 1,500 to 2,000 people. And one night, me and Steve, we would chop it up, man. There's times that we would go out there and it would be kick stunner. Right. This is what I'm talking about, feeling it. You know, we would do our shit. Maybe he'd be talking, doing his stuff. I'd talk, and then he'd just kick me stunner, and I'd listen to him. One time, you know, we had like a 15-minute match, like tackle, drop downs, all this crazy shit. And when he was getting the heat on me, because he was a heel still, he suplexed me. And then he gets up, looks around. Jake Roberts was my manager.
This is when you were doing the Portuguese Manowar gimmick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he suplexes me a second time. Get up, third time. Then the crowd starts to kind of pick up on something. So him and Jake are jaw-jacking. And Steve, in a very funny kind of, you don't think I'll suplex this sumbitch again? And Jake's like, no, you know, overselling. Don't do it. Oh, I'm going to do it. No, don't do it. We did like 15 of them.
That's
and the crowd,
fantastic.
In the crowd, after a while, that's how over Steve was getting, right? This is before Stone Cold. But then they're like, right. And then there's like, one more. The fans are like, one more. Oh, hell. Jake, you know, it's just fun times, man. Him and I loved working with each other. I've been on the podcast before he started doing it strictly for the WWE network, but I've been on the podcast twice now. And he's a great friend, man. I miss those days. But that's what I mean. Those were the good days where you could go out there. You're working with some of the best people in the world. You know, I was probably 22, 23 there. You know, we were just having fun. And that's what I mean about wrestling is that stuff's gone. That stuff is gone, that improvisational fun. And working with some really talented, legendary people at the same extent, you know.
Right. Deandra LaBeouf, the queen, is in the building.
The queen is here.
Yes.
Oh,
Happy belated
Hello.
birthday.
To our illustrious guests, thank you for joining us on a Sunday to talk a little about wrestling.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
It is entirely our pleasure.
Jay, you have
happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm finally 21. Very happy about that. Maybe I can get a little bit of alcohol now, maybe, if it's okay. And
I heard somebody say the other day when asked what their birthday was, they said, "Oh, it's my 23rd anniversary of my 21st birthday," or something like that.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
That is awesome.
If you're wondering where Pumps is, his computer went down apparently, and so he is now rebooting it or whatnot. But
the Confederate belt slowed it down.
Yeah, the Southern Championship.
Look at this. So
Cruella
right now, and she has this 101 Dalmatians Cruella ring gear on.
That's funny.
Timed perfectly with the release of the Cruella movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like that. That's a fly ass outfit.
It's pretty cool.
Charlotte's new swag she got going here. It's very updated. You know, it's time for her to step out and do her own thing. You know, just because you're a part of the Flair legacy, you can still make it your own thing. And she's starting to go a little beyond, and I'm feeling that.
Did she now? What happened with the pregnancy thing? Didn't they say that she couldn't wrestle because she was pregnant, but then she wasn't pregnant or something like that? Or am I totally off base?
I know Lacey is pregnant. I don't think Charlotte was pregnant. I know she had a shoulder injury. And then there was drama going on with her significant other leaving the
Right.
company. I don't know. Maybe she was sitting it out. But no, the other one who was doing this, running the story with her dad, was pregnant.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe I got him confused.
The one
And that's
always
why this show is
complaining
great,
about.
because I'm just going to be totally off base at times and absolutely wrong. And I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm not afraid to call it in the ring. Like my man, that's incredible.
Yes.
Hey, I think it would be fun for one of these matches, Justin, because there's how many parts to a wrestling match are there? There's this is a little debated. So it's the opening, the heat, right?
Yeah.
Then let me get this
And the
right.
finish.
Then the heat and the finish. Those are the parts, but isn't there the comeback?
Well, yeah, but I always, I mean, the comeback, yeah. Well, I guess it's all terminology, but yeah, open, heat, comeback, and then false finishes. But I always put that as like a 1, 2, 3 kind of. It all like kind of goes into the other. But then again, too, you don't have to. It doesn't really have to go down that way. It just helps you kind of remember. I'm going back a long time. Remember when we were in school, and like I'm 47, so a long time ago, they had those. What did they call those things for English? Where you had like, no, they had like these boxes, like to structure a sentence. What were they called?
I don't know.
Oh my God. They literally had boxes where you would like
Put like the
things
noun
together. Yes. I forget. There was a name for it. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't remember.
Right, where it's like subject, verb, noun.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the way I like to do it. It's just like, just piece them together.
Now, when you know how long your match is going to be, does that adjust how, if you have to toss out aspects of like, if they say, yo, you've got 5 minutes, That's
why I like to always say because you can get your time cut from anything.
Sure.
You could be scheduled for 10 minutes, and then the bell rings. You're told literally, and it's happened to me many times, go home as the bell rings.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's happened.
And then it's kick stunner.
Pretty much. or the way I like to do it, I would always like to be given the 2 minutes. So whenever it was time, the refs, some people like to be counted down, like 9 minutes, 8 minutes. I didn't like to hear that because that just made me nervous. I would go from heat to the comeback / finish. When the ref said go home, gave you the go home, that means you got 2 minutes and then out. And that's how I like to do it. So when they hear the call, let's go, guys, boom. And then I'll have a spot to flip it. Like, have them do something to me out of nowhere. Maybe I miss something, or put them in, you know what I mean? Like slam them, go to the top rope. They put a boot up. I eat it, then maybe block punch, go into whatever.
Now listen, just so you guys know that I'm not crazy. Okay. Was Charlotte on WrestleMania? She was not, correct?
No,
she was still injured.
No, she was not, Jay. Let me tell you what happened. Charlotte received a call from the WWE medical telling that her HCG levels had come back high and was medically suspended for being pregnant. So then she went and took a whole bunch of tests, and they came back negative, but it was already too late, and that's why she was left off of WrestleMania. So they gave her a false pregnancy.
She was probably all fucking hormoned up. Or they were just looking for, she had heat and they were looking for something to get her out of her WrestleMania payday. That's what I smell.
Yeah,
I've
maybe.
heard stuff like that's real shit, dude.
Really?
They were looking for a reason. And you want to know why? I know why. Scott Hall and I were driving from Montreal to a show in Connecticut, and we both smoked a joint and on the ride. And we weren't allowed to smoke marijuana at the time. This is in the 90s. And that day we get to the building, there's a sign, piss test. They literally had a white piece of paper with pencil said piss test. So anyways, we both gave samples. Scott had heat because he was negotiating to go to WCW because his contract was coming up. So Scott gets popped and gets suspended and fined. I smoked the same joint. I was okay. So
wow.
They pick and choose who they want. if they don't even test all the samples, I guarantee you, because testing was
Right.
expensive back then. It wasn't it was like Olympic testing of all different, it's not like pissing in a cup and going to Walmart to get the kit,
Right.
So if they want to get you on something and you're doing something, they'll get you. Or I'm sure they make shit up too.
Yeah,
They're vicious, dude. They don't play.
they don't play.
They don't. That's a scary place to work with, dude. Especially if you know where the bodies are buried in Stanford. And that's real too. That's another podcast.
Oh, that was a good. I really like Asuka. I think Asuka is incredibly, incredibly talented, and she's also really, really funny.
She is. Yeah, she really is.
Because you were watching this week, right, Jay, and talking about how much you were liking Asuka's stuff this week.
Yeah, Asuka is just so consistent. She performs well. She performs to the level whoever she's in. If you put her in with Nia, she's good at slowing the pacing for a match like that. I'm looking at her rolling around with Rhea. She's athletic. She can do all of that. So she can do anything.
Oh,
she's
God.
She has the most tools in the toolbox compared to the other women.
She also just took a hell of a fallaway slam on the outside.
Yeah. Over one thing you gotta, and this is a tribute to how well those athletes are trained over in the Japan system. I mean, these young men and women that they're usually so amazing. I mean, they go through the most rigorous standards of testing in the ring and being in dojos and stuff. So these guys and gals come to the WWE like on a whole different level. I mean, because they have to really put in the work over there. I mean, I've seen it. The Japanese folks are amazing.
Yeah.
And go on, Joe. Sorry.
No, we have the LA dojo out here, the New Japan dojo that Shibata runs. Sorry, that's my audio and stuff. There we go. That Shibata runs out here in LA. So that LA.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a lot of great talent out there. I've watched that New Japan Strong every now and then, and my God, like the stuff that they're doing is crazy.
Yeah, it's just a whole different level. Yeah, and it's I guess it's similar to NXT, but it's not. It's a bit more intense. Like they really make you, before you even get in the ring, they make you really pay your dues and really work hard. And most of those athletes have such a respect and love for the game, makes it that much more amazing to watch when you get to see them perform.
Can I tell you how hysterical I think it is that we're talking about New Japan and Pumps' computer is locked?
Right.
That's all he talks about every week, PJ, is he has a whole New Japan segment. That's like his jam. He just got like a box of merchandise from fucking the New Japan shop.
We do have a great comment, by the way, from your brother, Nate. You are alive. Yeah. He said that he found out that you're alive by noticing that you're on this show live with us.
Oh, no.
He also says, all respect to the guest, just incredible, but let's not bury the lead. Happy birthday, Jay. And last but not least, he says, if Pumps doesn't get his video figured out in 5 minutes, he demands, Shay, that he loses the S and he just goes back to Pump.
He loses the S that he finally got on his name, and he has to give up the New Confederacy Christmas Addicts title that he has taken.
Yeah, PJ, for a long time, Pumps, his graphic on the show just said Pump. and we made him earn his S.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah,
he had to pay his dues.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
He is in hell. He is in wrestling hell. He wants to give up on WWE, and he can't get on to talk about New Japan. This is amazing. He is trapped in.
So I had a question for you. Which match were you most excited for this WrestleMania Backlash?
Is that to me?
For you, Jay, and then we're gonna ask you, Justin.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, for me, I think I'm most excited to see how Bianca and Bayley get down because they're so talented. We've seen Bianca with Sasha when she won the belt, but now I think maybe the freeze has worn off because she was freezing up a little bit. So I want to see her just dive right in and for them to tear it down. And Bayley works well with a lot of people, so they should have a really good match.
Absolutely. How about you, Justin?
To be really honest, I don't know much of the card. I do know that
I love that. That is so. I'm sorry to cut you off. That is so on tune with this show.
Yeah.
That I love that you didn't have to bullshit and be like, you know what I mean? Like you're like, hey, I don't even know what this card is, and I
really
love
don't.
No, I know because that's what our show is like every week. It'd be
Nice.
like, hey, did you watch Raw? No. We're the show that is only half about wrestling, and it's the way we like it. But much like Pumps, who doesn't watch American wrestling, you don't need to be following everything to watch it and make it a good match.
No.
You know,
that's why though, and we talked about this earlier as well.
Yeah.
That's the bigger problem and the narrative of why people are not watching Raw.
Sure.
And why, because in the Attitude Era, and I know we're going back a long way. It was a 2-hour show, not 3. 3 hours is almost
2 hours
impossible.
Is what it should be. Yep.
Right. 3 hours makes it very hard for anything in this day and age where we have so many choices in
unless you're a superhero movie.
Right, unless you're watching the Avengers.
Yeah, or Lord of the Rings.
But even then, that's only once a week. I mean, that's once a year. So often, wrestling is once a week, 3 hours. That's
it's not sustainable. It's not, and that's why they're having such a problem getting people over, and one of the problems, and they're whatever, they're obviously going to stick to it because it brings them the cash that they need, but it makes it really, really rough.
Yeah, this is a really good match that we're seeing here. Sorry, we're not going blow for blow through the match because we have a guest, but
what is this young lady's name?
Which one?
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I was high on her when she was coming out of what was it? The England NXT.
NXT
from England.
Yeah.
UK.
I love how she's matching up against Charlotte because they're both supremely athletic, and it's just good. Charlotte is usually pulling up her opposition to work at her level, and it's usually someone small like Asuka, but Rhea's a good statuesque size girl like her, and they can really get down.
Yeah. She's got such great size too. I love her look. I like everything about her, and she could.
Yeah, me too. Rhea Ripley is one of my favorites.
That's his girl.
I love Rhea. She's so good.
And I know the different times and different strokes for different folks, but is it okay? I mean, I know it's kind of not okay sometimes to say it doesn't hurt that she's a really beautiful young lady.
Absolutely.
We're
on the show all the time.
But sometimes it's almost like taboo to say she's attractive. She's pretty sexy.
Right.
And I'm not the only one that says it. I work for Vince Russo and do his podcasts for his brand, and I do an AEW review show. Yeah. And we got to remember that it's a lot of, even though it's a diverse crowd, a lot of young males, right? And young males, for the most part, like pretty girls. I did when I was a kid.
I too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, it's not like a bra and panties match, which I thought were disgusting. Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some very pretty girls working their asses off.
I mean, and they kick ass. Yeah,
even
they're kicking ass.
On the flip side of that, like is somebody that like I could appreciate everybody's attractiveness. Like Roman Reigns is a good looking dude. I can understand.
Yeah.
Why Vince McMahon wants to go to the moon with that guy? Like you know what I mean? He's a guy that's good looking. They could probably beat my ass. They can definitely beat my ass. So like.
But it works. It works both ways too, because if you remember Shawn Michaels in the '90s when he was doing Playgirl, and it was very sexualized.
Yeah.
And believe me, when I used to travel with him back in those days, man. I mean, there were a lot of ladies coming out to the hotels to get an autograph or to seriously. I mean, it was pretty crazy. It's like boy band stuff,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah.
I almost feel like your brother should be on this show too. He says, "Are you guys watching Pumps versus Wi-Fi?" He just took a chair shot to the face.
That's why I laughed. I glanced over because I got the chat on my phone, and I'm like, "He is going. It pumps. Pumps is in purgatory."
He said reliable internet just dragged Pumps into the middle of the ring and put him in the sharpshooter.
This is great.
Yeah.
Usually I get annoyed with the triple threat matches where Charlotte just magically gets sprinkled in. Normally it annoys me, but I'm feeling this because they're all three so talented. So I'm kind of feeling this. We lose PJ. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I don't know. I blame Shay. Just blame Shay. If anything goes wrong, you just blame Shay.
I
There
am
he's back,
so
he's back.
hungry. Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to pack a goddamn sack lunch for this episode.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have my dinner sitting over here in a bag, and it's taunting me.
Yeah, I was like, I might have to bring a Lunchable.
Hey, feel
It's
free.
on my left.
This is a watch along. If you guys want to eat, let's see it. I'm about to eat a piece of this food
Well,
over here.
shit, we can do it like a mukbang. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Pumps is missing out.
I mean, this is definitely more of a watch party than it is a watch along. But I love hearing these stories, Justin, about your time like on the road. You were just talking about Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You traveled with Shawn a lot. Could you talk to me about any fun stories you have there?
I know he was lit.
That documentary comes out tonight, by the way, on
Yeah.
A&E. Shawn Michaels documentary tonight on A&E.
Hey,
Oh,
by the way,
is there a Sean one tonight?
Yeah.
also, by the way, speaking of that, can we talk about the absolute fucking hit piece they did on Macho Man?
Oh,
For real.
I'm with you, mate.
Like every the Austin one, like they're all super like uplifting, and this guy was awesome, and this guy was great, and the Booker T one was, inspirational and everything. And then the Macho Man was like, he fucking carried ecstasy pills in his fanny pack, and he videotaped me undressing, and he wanted to hook up with my sister, and blah blah. It's like, what the fuck?
I knew her really well.
Like, listen, not that
She was a fruity girl, like not in that way. Like she was just not there. No, what I mean by that is she was like
but here's what I'm
she
saying.
was batshit.
Not that I don't like Dark Side of the Ring. I'm for it. I get it. Like, but don't do a puff piece for every other wrestler and then do a fucking hit piece on Macho Man. It's like, that's
I
like,
got you.
You know what I mean? And
because we know he who shall not be named. We know his shit probably is better than that.
well, yeah. Well, here's the other thing too, is they're gonna do an Ultimate Warrior one, right? And Ultimate Warrior was a piece of shit from what everybody says. But now his wife works for the company, and I guarantee you they don't throw in any of the negative shit that comes along with the Ultimate Warrior.
I feel like I saw the Ultimate Warrior's likeness in a commercial recently for like Geico or something.
Well, I think on the adverse of that, Nate, there's also the Dark Side of the Ring that also has an Ultimate Warrior episode, which I do think we will explore that side that people talk about. By the way, I hadn't seen that second episode for Brian Pillman yet, but the first episode was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was really, really. Did you know Brian at all, PJ?
I did not. No.
Yeah, it was a really good. But speaking of, rest in peace, New Jack.
Oh yeah.
New Jack passed away yesterday or the day before.
Yeah,
I think Thursday, and it broke Friday.
Yeah.
Only 58 years old.
Yeah.
How old was he? 56, 58?
58, I believe.
58. Wow.
Yeah, and New Jack, say what you will about the man, he's definitely a polarizing figure.
He gets a bad rap though.
Yeah,
he was
like
a good dude, man.
Yeah,
I love Jack.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you, like, you who were shared a locker room with the dude for years, you know what I mean? Like
we used to get in some trouble together. There were some times where we traveled together we used to there's some stories I could tell you that not very kind of scary now if you think about it.
Right.
But yeah, man, he was but listen, a lot of the stuff he did, he was ahead of his time because he was working. A lot of the things where people thought was a shoot was not. He was a master at working outside of, working people in the industry, the smarts,
working
the boys, the sheet writers. Jack was super cool, dude. I loved him. He never did anything to me. I was fairly close with him, as close as anybody. We'd hung with him and my wife and him and his wife. We used to hang out, go out to dinners and stuff. It's sad that he had to go, man. I don't know the circumstances. I have no idea what he was. Saw him about a year ago. He seemed fine, quiet actually for New Jack. Wasn't partying, not drinking or nothing like that that I knew of. But it's a shame, man. Unfortunately,
yeah, it's a shame. Sometimes people, I've had people in my life that have, they get it together, and then it's almost shit like catches up to them. You know what I mean?
Like, that's happened a lot. That's happened a lot.
I mean?
Like,
and And it's like, fuck, like if you'd only just, 5 years earlier, maybe, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, that happened with Chris Candido. And, and Chris was something different. It wasn't, it was a blood clot or something, but he was a real bad shape, bad into drugs and alcohol. And he cleaned himself up, got a spot with TNA, was very happy, doing really well.
If Chris Candido was 6'2", he'd have been a champion.
Oh yeah.
He was so good. Threat.
Yeah.
That was the ECW era that I think, Nate, you and I probably like watched ECW right around that same time. Everything was just on fire, man. Yeah. It was Justin, you obviously you were a part of that with with your crew. You and Lance Storm had a fucking amazing tag team.
The Impact players? Are you kidding me? I fucking love. I can't believe that weren't you both under the same roof at the WWE at the same time, and they didn't put you guys back together?
Yeah.
I can't.
How does that happen?
I don't know. We were probably, and this is not me saying it. This is, I've heard wrestling journalists and other people. We were probably one of the top 10 tag teams of the 90s.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as work and
your work, 1,000,000% your work. You got the Impact players did not have a bad match in ECW.
Not that I can recall one. I can't. If somebody could bring out evidence, I would say okay. But we were both trained by the same system. We both came out of the Hearts.
Yeah.
He was one of my bigger influences because he really did a lot of my training. If not. The Hearts came in like once a week, and he was there, the rest of the time, making sure we knew our shit. But yeah, Lance was we were a huge part of each other's career. I was the one that gave Jim Cornette the 411 on Lance and got him into Smoky Mountain. Not me personally, but I mentioned to Cornette about Lance, and Cornette said, "How do I get a hold of him? I've been hearing his name, and I want to, do something with him and Chris Jericho." And Chris Jericho also coming out of the Hearts in the same era, same time. I passed down that information to Jim Cornette, and and then we ended up in ECW.
We just saw just so people don't think we're not watching. Rhea Ripley retained her belt. More back to Justin. I had a question. What was it? Oh, what was it like working with Nicole Bass?
She was cool. She was a bit. She was a sweetheart of a girl that has been through so much. Being that size and just bodybuilding and all that, man. She used to get bullied a lot.
Right.
Like a lot. Like it was disheartening because she'd get bullied by fans and even some of the boys.
Yeah.
Would say shit to her, and stuff that wouldn't be said today. Let's put it that way.
Of course.
But she was such a sweetheart of a girl. I remember her coming to me one night and crying, saying, just because I look this way, I'm not a man. I act like a woman. I'm feminine.
Sure.
And it broke my heart. She was so sweet and like sad about it. And I was like, sweetheart, don't worry about it, because you know what? At the end of the day, your character shows how wonderful you are. The problem was with her, she had a real scumbag of a husband who was a drug
exploiting
dealer.
her. Felt like he was exploiting. Yeah,
forever. He had it pumped up and all. He wasn't like a street drug dealer. He was he dealt steroids and pain pills and stuff of that nature, like performance enhancing stuff. Mm-hmm. And he used to just have her jacked up on so much stuff for his benefit. He was like her manager.
Right.
And everything.
So he was, yeah.
Yeah. He was just trying to get paid, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did she have any, it seemed to me like she didn't really have any real interest in actually learning how to wrestle. No, right. She just wanted to be like she wanted to be China before China got in the ring.
She was doing her biggest thing was Stern, right? When Howard Stern was really big on radio.
Yeah.
So they would do Stern and get a ton of media from Stern. That's what prompted us to go after her.
Right.
For ECW, I suggested, because I was around when me and Hunter. Well, I was in the WWE before Hunter came in. Like, I think a year later, in 95, going into 96, and we started traveling together, and he would bring Joni around China,
Yeah.
and she wasn't in the business yet. She wasn't even working for the company. She was just dating Paul and traveling with us. So it'd just be us three. And, you know, and when I started to kind of see how that was, and when I left and went to do my thing in ECW, when Heyman mentioned that he wanted to get a crew around me, I was like, and there's this girl on Howard Stern. She's really big and she's muscular and she's taller than China. And I, you know, unfortunately, she didn't have the love or the passion for pro wrestling. She was just kind
Right.
of
Payday.
you
She
know,
wanted a payday. She looked like
well,
she looked
her husband wanted the payday,
Right.
you know, but she didn't know how to sell. She never had any training.
right.
You know, they would
So
teach her things.
she was
on the
kind of
fly.
set up to fail. Right? You feel-
Yeah, I mean, not even set up to
No?
fail. They just wanted her to. Yeah, they didn't. They figured, well, we'll get what we can out of her. You know, teach her how to do this, teach her how to do that, and just stand there and look menacing.
Right.
You know,
And
but it
what
was never going to be long. It was never going to be a long-term career. You can tell by that.
because they
you
also put Jazz with you, right?
Yeah, I've had a lot of weird, not weird people, but weird meaning different
Yeah.
kinds of, you know, I had a lot of people don't know this. I had Lita's first match when she was in the WWE. She came out with me and Jason.
Really?
It wasn't for TV. Yeah, she came out with me
Wow.
for her tryout in North Carolina. And then they ended up putting her with someone else. I think they put her with Danny Doring.
Right.
But I saw her and she had that already like kind of doing the Hardy-esque thing. And I was like, even though she was really green still, I was like, dude, I want to work with her. I saw money in her. And, but I mean, it didn't work out, whatever. But yeah, you know, I worked with Chastity, she was in WCW for a cup of coffee. Jazz, who was a legend. You know,
Yeah, because you used to roll out. You used to roll out when you
I used to roll out, roll deep
with you and Nicole Bass and Jason,
yeah.
Like it was.
I hated it too. I hated it.
It was bizarre, but
Yeah.
got so much heat.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Like not. I don't want to say. I think I use the word funny to describe things I think that are cool.
No,
you know
but I know what you're saying.
I'm just like. It was I don't know. I was into it. It was
I
always
and
like you were an asshole and you were such a dick and it was
I was a dick to them too. And they would not in real life, but like when I got into the ring, I figured, fuck these guys, they're gonna make me look like a joke. So I did the Stone Cold to them. They would walk out and parade around the ring. I ignored them. Just did the corners with the kendo stick, whatever, and kind of just did me. And let them do that, you know. And that was the whole thing. I was like, Paul, I'm not taking any headshots because I get concussions. I have a lot of them. I get them real easy. So, somebody's going to get a kendo stick shot or a steel chair to the head. Jason, let's go. You know, hey, man, he got a free ride, so I don't feel too bad. You know, shit.
So what do we got here? We got
Dolph
Ziggler.
Ziggler.
Yep, we got Dolph and Bobby Roode.
What a crime, that kid.
Yeah,
what a crime.
He should definitely be. I think he's taking the money, and
yeah,
he's. I think he's not given up, but he wants to be. He wants to be a comedian and shit, right? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wants to do other things, and I think the WWE pays him to. I think the WWE pays him to not go to AEW.
Right. Yeah. He's just too good with the tag team.
I don't like Ziggler and Roode together.
Yeah.
I like Ziggler by himself, and it's not even that they're doing anything wrong or poorly or bad, but it's just.
Yeah. Also, I feel you. It's that thing that I dislike too. And I kind of am saying something that happened for me. That's what happened when they put Lance and I together. It's like we're two singles wrestlers in a tag. It worked for some reason, but here you see two former world champions. It really just doesn't. They don't even have a tag team name.
Right.
Yeah. The Dirty Dogs is awful. That's like.
Is that really
is
that what they're called?
Well, that's what they always say.
That's what they're
like. Yeah, we're the Dirty Dogs, and it's like it just feels
God.
so like 90. I don't know.
Brutal.
I don't know.
Did I just lose my internet?
When they put you in a group project with some people, and it's like, well, okay. I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I think Justin froze there. We'll get him back here in a second.
The
I don't know if
Mysterios.
you guys can hear me. I can't.
Oh,
You guys are all frozen.
We
We
can hear
can
you.
Yep,
We can
losing
see
you. Try to change this.
Not for nothing, Bobby Roode looks fantastic. His body looks jamming.
You know what? It's
Always
crazy.
in shape, but he looks great.
I think about that glorious gimmick that Bobby Roode had and how over it was in NXT, and I'm shocked that it didn't transition over to WWE. Or they just kind of dropped the ball with that whole glorious.
Yeah, another one. Because when he was doing even face heel, either way, when he was doing the whole glorious walkout, it worked.
His music, Bobby Roode's glorious entrance was the most over thing in the fucking company for a while.
Yeah.
Probably somebody was
really
hating.
was.
Yeah, when he would come out fucking no, the whole fucking crowd would sing it. Like, how do you not push that guy to the moon? It's not like he can't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's just another thing that I think that
Again, they don't know what to do with him.
Dropped.
There we go. We got Justin back.
He's back.
Or they don't know, or they don't want him to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? He's just not it's not our representation.
You know,
That's a real thing, dude. You know, if you're not their guy, they're only going to go so far with you. If you're not Vince's guy.
That's why I'm a little surprised they went as far and continue to go as far as they do with AJ Styles, because he's not a homegrown WWE guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And yeah, he's one of the exceptions to the rules, I guess. You know, fucking. We thought it was going to do that with Joe, and Joe got let go. You know, I
mean, I guess CM Punk would have been one of those guys too. I guess that kind of had a name going in, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
having
Rey
a hard time, guys. Hold on, I'm going to reboot.
All right, no problem. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Ooh, okay, furry hat Mysterio. Daddy
No,
Mysterio.
Ray is in a fucking. He's the original Batman '60s TV show outfit.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I like it. It's kind of fly. I like the colors.
Yeah,
it's right.
It is gonna be Adam West. It definitely is.
Yeah, he's got a utility belt on, for fuck's sake.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, right. I gotta take a leak. I'll be back in 1 second.
All good. I love the pop culture references when Rey Mysterio wears his his costumes like that. I love that stuff.
What is that supposed to be?
That's Batman from like the Adam West Batman.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
The colors are, yeah.
That's fly.
Okay.
See, I like it. Just different colors, like not just the usual, the black, the pink, the gray, the white. I would buy that if there was a tee like that. I would wear that.
You know, it's crazy. Like watching Rey Mysterio now. Obviously he's older, but like you wouldn't know it by some of the moves, his move sets still. Mm-hmm. Like he is still so agile and so athletic. It's incredible.
Boy, they sure buried that storyline they were doing with his kid and his daughter had the thing going with the Australian wrestler.
Oh,
the one that used to go with Alexa Bliss. Yeah.
Whatever happened? Like, he was a great. Like, what's going on with?
They had him in the thing with Seth Rollins when Seth was doing the Monday Night Messiah thing, and he was one of his anointed. And now they've got Seth back with Roman. And man, I want to holler at Seth. Do you really like this? That you playing a second fiddle to Roman now? Y'all used to be, equal playing field, but now the head of the table.
I loved that Monday Night Messiah gimmick. I thought it was so much fun. And then I was almost hoping he was going to get his 12 disciples and his Mary Magdalene thing. I just thought that would have been pretty cool. But I think they killed that thing before it really had a chance to take off.
They get too impatient and lazy. It's lazy. It's just lazy creative. You got all these wrestlers out there working hard and they think they're finding their way with a gimmick, or even the ones that have good gimmicks. And then they just kill it with something stupid. It's like, kill the storyline. Let's just do a fatal 4-way. Let's just do triple threat match. Let's just do this with no real reason, no real ramifications, and there's just no cohesiveness with any of the other stories. And then now we get here, And it's like, what's the rest of the year going to look like? Like, we just saw Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. So I guess that's setting up. They're going to now do their thing over the course of the next year to set up their rivalry. And I like it because they both are two sizable girls who can get down. What I hope they don't do is just make it that every week Rhea's is whipping Charlotte's ass and then it just burns out. And like 4 weeks and there's nothing to continue on. Let them wrestle other people. They don't need to pop up on each other every week. You know, wait 6 weeks, have Charlotte come out, interfere, and then leave and go do her thing. And then every once in a while, they're just do some kind of puppet mastering to interfere so that when you get in the latter half of the year, you can get a legit rivalry building in the WrestleMania. And I feel like, again, my thing with the women in the writer's room, there's no women in the writer's room to really create any kind of cohesive storyline that has female undertones, because it's not this. They can make it a little catty. They could still make it athletic and kick ass. It's like, they're either snatching each other's hair or beating each other down, and there's no story. No story. Women are not monolith like that. It could be other things.
Sure. Absolutely. Hey, Justin, quick question for you. So you talked earlier about how you and Lance were pretty much individual wrestlers, and they put you guys together in ECW. We see something very similar happening with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Can you talk to me about the mindset of how your mind has to change from being a singles wrestler to being in a tag team, and the psychology that it takes, that like the differences we see?
Absolutely. I mean, you really have to then, not just do the, the tag team spots just to do them, right? What we tried to do is, of course, get some tag team spots. But, if you notice when Lance and I did our thing, he did the Shawn Michaels pose. I stood over him doing the Diesel with the stick. I'm in the jean shorts and a T-shirt. He's in the wrestling tights.
Right.
I have that persona, and he's more of the, if I could be serious for a minute, but yet then it started to turn into, it started to become a thing, which was like, I'm everything he isn't, and he's everything I'm not. But together, it just becomes the best of both worlds into one big thing. You know what I mean?
You guys complemented each other very well.
The reason why I think it was good was because it was so effortless. Lance and I being, like I said, with our history of training in the same place, our relationship, and a lot of things people don't know, it was just, it was probably the most effortless thing I've ever done in the business to this day. It was almost ridiculously like, if I could be having a bad night and he would just take over the whole night. Don't worry about it. And it could be the same thing where he's having a hard time, not vibing. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Like we'd always be there because we knew each other so well. We could read each other without even saying anything inside the ring as well.
Now,
So
that was
I
Lance.
think what made it cool.
Was Lance's mindset like yours, where it would be that art form of calling it in the ring?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's what I mean. We were very from the same school. But as were a lot of the other guys too, like we wrestled with Jerry Lynn a lot. One of the best matches we ever had, and I don't think a lot of people remember this because it was just a match on ECW TV, but they brought in these wrestlers from Japan, Jado and Gato. And to this day, it was probably one of the best tag team matches I've ever had, or maybe even seen. And I'm not saying it because it was me. The ECW arena was just literally for the entire match. Not one person took a seat. Everything was vibing. It was just like, I'm talking like, oh, like you couldn't think pops would get bigger. They would. And it's like, holy shit, we're doing something special here. Those guys from Japan are just so fire. It was just so much fun. And we're not killing each other out there. What a concept. We're working light. We're not hurt, which makes it even more fun. So then we can start to F around out there. We can fuck around and have fun with it.
Can people see that
I always remember that one moment in time where it was just like taking candy from a baby, because everything, the stars aligned, the fans, the match, everybody included, just beautiful. When it comes together like that, you can't plan it, right? You can't.
Sure.
Can you see that somewhere? That match is that?
Oh
on?
yeah, you can. You could probably get it on YouTube right now.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. I'd like to check that out. I've never seen that.
It's probably been chopped up a little,
Right.
Because I don't know. I wish I had some of the original recordings
Sure.
with the original music and stuff. Because anything that's gone through the WWE's hands,
Yeah, it's been
they chop it up.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and I know you. I'm pretty sure you can.
Maybe that's a big disconnect here with Rude and Ziggler. Too many similarities, no yin and yang. It's just kind of, I don't know.
Also, I just realized, I'm like, why is Ray wrestling this whole match? Where the fuck is his partner? And then I realized he doesn't even have one.
Why hasn't his kid nice little burn there? You know what ruined his son's burn? Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny just came and took all the attention away, and it hasn't shifted back since.
I think Dominique has such a hard name to live up to, because it's going to be very hard to be better than your father, especially in this business.
You also just called him Dominique.
Yeah, I don't even know. There you go.
Well, I'm always intrigued by like legacy kids who's like their dad or their mom was the bomb or whatever sport they did. And it's just, they can excel because they've had advantages, but they're not going to have the same hunger, the same sleeping in a dirty hotel room, making $50 for 7 hours of work. It's not the same, because that passion comes from that struggle.
Right.
Yeah. There's no secret on the show that your boy here is not a very big fan of Dominic Mysterio. Dominique Mysterio, the princess. But if Ray wasn't on the roster, neither would his kid.
Right.
No. He wouldn't even be in NXT.
No.
He never even went through the performance center.
And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. But if you're gonna put that on television, then I get to have an opinion on it. And it's not as.
I just want to know what the fast track was. Hell, we haven't even seen the Rock's kid in the performance center yet, like full on wrestling. Right. And Mysterio's kid was on WrestleMania, and the Rock's daughter, we haven't even seen her yet, and she's been in the performance center like a year, more than a year already.
I hope he heel turns right here. Just punches Ray in the head, and they could do a program, Ray and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, you think? That'd be
how cool would that be, right? He gets to learn from his father, and actually maybe he gets better in the ring because of it. But I don't think it happens.
No.
Wait, was Dominic already dressed and he went back? What the hell? I don't know what the hell is going on.
He got beat up backstage. I think he got beat up backstage, and that's why he wasn't there. And if these two world champions lose to fucking, it's just like, what? Like,
don't say it. They probably are. They probably are.
Not a
Prince
fan.
Mysterio. That's what our other friend of the neighborhood calls him, Prince Mysterio.
TJ, you mentioned jean shorts earlier. And I can't help but saying that, in my humble opinion, John Cena ripped off your gimmick by wrestling in jean shorts. Listen, Austin wore them, but didn't wrestle in them.
Right.
You wrestled in them, sir. And then all of a sudden, John Cena's out there wrestling in jean shorts, and you have not gotten the proper credit for creating that lane.
Well, the reason I did it was really simple, and it was by accident. When I came to ECW, it was fast. Everything happened like within a week. So
because you had to switch from. Sorry to cut you off, but just so people know, when you came into ECW, you were coming off of being Aldo Montoya, which couldn't be any more opposite from the Just Incredible character.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So go on.
And that's what it was, is I only had the Aldo gear. I had 2 pairs of tights, 2 pairs of trunks, the yellow boots.
Sweet mask.
So I had to, there's no way you can get a seamstress to do any, nor did I have any ideas.
Right.
So I just got some black ladies leggings, high-tech black, those high-tech boots, the black boots that, everybody wore back then in the 90s, and then jean shorts and an ECW t-shirt. And because that was the necessity, right?
And the look was born.
Well, but it was also grunge, and
Yeah.
you know, it was that era. It was the '90s. I thought, you know, Raven had done it, and Raven wasn't there anymore at that time.
Right.
So I was just like, hey, you know. So yeah, I don't know if I mean, he certainly, John knew who I was. I've known John since he was 16, because I used to stay at his father's house, Cena Senior.
Really?
Some of those ECW loops in Massachusetts. When I got to WWE in 2001, I was like, hey, John, nice to meet you, sir, out of respect. And he came up, no, not 2000, 2006 for the fake ECW. Sorry, bad timeline. And nice to meet you. He goes, nice to meet you. He goes, you used to stay at my dad's house when you wrestled, you know, the dog track right outside of Boston. You stay at my dad's, and, you know, I'd stay on the couch or whatever.
Wow, how was that? Like, how was Cena's dad was involved in the like new wrestling? I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
he's a manager.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
He's a successful businessman. He just loved professional wrestling.
Right.
So he did like the local New England circuit on the weekends just for fun.
Yeah.
He still does.
Wow.
He's still out there.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I think that his gimmick name is Johnny Fabulous.
Gotcha. Huh.
That's
Totally
great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's great. Huh. What a trip. Yeah, Cena wrestled out here, and I'm from Redondo Beach, which is down, and Cena used to bounce at Sharky's in Hermosa when he was working UPW or whatever.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Cena used to bounce at Sharky's Hermosa, bro.
That's where he got his in-ring start, right?
Yeah.
He trained out there, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I used to go to the UPW shows, too, with Frankie Kazarian when he was out there. But there was
Joe started out there, too? Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people coming out of LA. That was like the first time that really good guys started to come from the West Coast, you know.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was just East Coast, because that's just, for some reason, you know, people don't realize how much of a distance there really is from logistics, travel.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's almost, you know, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're an LA guy and there's not much going on in LA, you're staying in LA. Like, people were relocating, living in Philly or the New York area, because you could do Philly, Baltimore, Boston, New York City, Connecticut, Massachusetts, upstate New York, all throughout, you know, Pittsburgh and all that other shit. I mean, there's just a ton more work over at the time.
Yeah.
Florida was still popping off, you know. Nashville.
Do you think in the wrestling landscape, though, because you're on the East Coast, are there still a ton of indie shows out on the East Coast?
Oh, every weekend. I mean, there's like, every weekend is packed. Within a 300-mile radius, you probably get 10 shows.
Wow.
A weekend, easy. Within a 300-mile radius, easy.
Right.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID, yeah. So we can only hope that goes back to at least.
It's starting to.
That's good. I think it's almost like I said, I went to the Dodger game on Friday, and it was my first live sporting event. And hold on, we got Princess up.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, there.
He's here.
Like, stop it!
Like,
stop it! That kid weighs 150 pounds. How did that hurt him enough to get pinned? Boo! Oh shit! Boo! Boo!
There's something about him that just screams like Punk baby face. Punk that has a baby face, not a good guy, but you just want to hate on him because he's just, you know, he's just got clout because of his old man.
But he's not any good. Like Sammy Guevara looks exactly like Dominic Mysterio, but Sammy Guevara can go.
Yeah, Sammy's good.
Sammy's really
good. Great.
Yeah, Sammy can go. You know what I mean? So like, Sammy's the guy you hate because he's like, I'm fucking sex god, fucking whatever. But he can actually get it done. Like Dominic Mysterio looks like that, but also like he should ask me if I want help to my car with my groceries.
Look, I think though, if handled correctly, Dominic could be a huge heel because of that. You know, if because he has that. I agree. He has this like.
But he's not physically threatening. Nothing about him is threatening.
He doesn't need to be. If you can put somebody with him that does everything for him and almost make him like this manager-esque, all right, I'll get in the ring sometimes kind of a thing, then you could do something fun with him.
The frog splash was just so mediocre. He didn't even back.
He really didn't hit him where he should have. It felt like he was reaching, right? Like undershot him, I think.
Shout out to Toe This 06 in the chat who says Bobby Roode looking like a gas station hot dog with that.
Justin, in more of my extensive research last night, you had one of the last matches with Vader.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Because he passed away like 3 months after you guys had that.
It might have been his last match.
That's what I mean. I was going to ask you if you know if that's the case or not.
I don't know for
Right.
100%, but I know he wasn't wrestling that much.
Right.
So it may well have been his last match. I'd actually like to look that up. But I worked with Leon.
Yeah. Was that your first time ever working with him, or because you guys?
No, I'd worked with him a couple other times.
Oh, okay.
And funny enough, I worked with him my only 2 matches ever in WCW. One was with Leon Vader, and that same day it was for those Saturday night TV tapings. Myself and one of the guys that was at the show yesterday that I went to in Maryland, Randy Hogan.
I've seen him.
Randy Hogan and myself against the Nasty Boys. That was my only 2 matches in WCW. Those, and then I worked with Vader like a couple other times in some other random places. He was great. Leon was great. He was a killer.
Randy Hogan, for people that don't know, he's almost like a borderline wrestling meme. Because he tried to look like him. He had like a bleached mustache and like hair, and then it says like when you order Hulk Hogan on Wish, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
right. Yeah.
Wow,
he
what a
was
trip!
there yesterday, dude, in the yellow, the red and yellow.
He was there yesterday.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. He with the red and yellow. You know,
Oh.
he had the whole gimmick on.
But he wore the
people
red
were going up to him. You know, Craig made a couple bucks yesterday.
Yeah, as he should. I think it's fucking great. I want everybody to make money. That's fantastic.
It's so funny though, because of the way the business is, and we have all this history. It's like guys guys that have never been anything nor even remembered can still make a couple of bucks today because of all the fandom and the weird shit we're doing. Like you said, a meme, and he's still going out signing autographs for $20 a pop. It's ridiculous, you know.
Listen, I would have rather gotten a picture with Randy Hogan than Kevin Nash. I'll tell you that right now. I would have been in the Randy Hogan line way, because you could probably bullshit with him for a little bit. Where Kev's getting you going. He's signing. He's too sweeting you and you're out.
Right, yeah. That's the deal.
I love it. Thanks again for coming today, man. This is fun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, dude.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, we all got a trailer.
Yeah, we have another trailer for that movie. Another thing I saw, PJ, you won the title at Shawn Michaels TWA.
Yes.
And then gave it back to him on the same night?
Yeah, because this is Rebecca.
In like year 2000, right? Like it was Yeah.
Rebecca and Shawn are married. That's his wife, and still married. My wife is Jill and myself. So we all I've been friends with Shawn, and then the girls started to become friends. And I was ECW tag champ, and Shawn started to run the wrestling school after he had left WWE. I went down there to help out on my own dime. I stayed at Shawn's spare bedroom at his house in San Antonio. And I'd go in. Daniel Bryan was there. That was the first time he had ever got in the ring and stuff. So I saw that. Spanky, I believe, was down there. That one kid that died.
Lance Cade?
Lance Cade.
He was down there. And a couple other people. Paul Diamond from the Orient Express was his head teacher. So Shawn was like, stay for the week, help train some of the guys with me, and then win the title, and then give it up to Shawn because he was coming out of retirement for like a hardcore match.
Right.
Because he had like a local TV show too. It was like on a local Fox affiliate. So
gotcha.
yeah, I mean, Sean, we were literally like, he called my house, like, can I put your wife on the phone? He's like, how do I order this bassinet with the retractable gate? So, we're doing like all kinds of domesticated shit for the first time. Our kids were both 2000 babies. So, and this was when he first started getting clean, sober. So his head was all in it, and really good times, good people. I miss those times. I miss Sean. I haven't talked to Sean in a long time.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that this had happened. I thought that was a cool little thing to add to your resume. I also watched your Stairway to Hell match with Tommy Dreamer, which was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Another good little tidbit that a lot of people don't remember. Scott Hall in 2000, I got him to come to ECW to work with me as a world champion, because we were wrestling in this place, Poughkeepsie, at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, which was a famous building for late 70s, early 80s wrestling. It was like a 2,000-seat building just made for TV. And ECW was running it and selling it out. And Razor's like, yo, that was the night where Razor and 1-2-3 Kid had that $10,000 match challenge. So there's like a huge history there. So yeah, Scott came in, flew himself in, worked for free just to get in the ring with his old boy. And we had a lot of
cool.
Those were years, and this is what I mean. There was so much, like, buddies wanted to work with buddies, making names, making legend, like little things where guys were being cool, where I believe that stuff doesn't happen today. There's like none of that excitement because people are all locked into contracts and just kind of, we need to get back to just having some fun out there, and use the internet that is so fucking powerful, and social media to just, if we had social media 21 years ago the way we do today, even though we did have it, not to this game, ECW would have never died because we wouldn't need TV. We'd have YouTube.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
That,
There was a little bit of buzz. I felt like that was handled properly when Kenny was going over to Impact. I think that was a lot of fun for fans.
But I think they're dropping the ball somewhere because it really didn't seem to. It sounded really cool, and it is really cool, but it didn't. It helped Impact like the first week.
Yeah,
and then it's like, I don't know, man. I think that whole AEW experiment, like when they first had their like all in and all out, and whenever it became officially AEW, they had so much buzz and it was so awesome. But then it's almost started to, when they just started doing Daly's Place and Tony Khan figured, well, writing a 2-hour episodic television show and trying to keep everybody involved, and they're in way over their heads. They lost a lot of that amazing momentum that they had when the Bucks and all these other guys have shirts at Hot Topics, and it was more of a myth. Now we've seen these guys, we've seen Omega, we've seen the Bucks, we've seen, Cody, but it wasn't what it's like. The hype was bigger than does that make sense? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
I don't think they, you know what I mean? I think like they didn't deliver the way it should have been delivered. I don't know why. But and
I think they're still trying.
What's the Cowboy's name?
Hangman Page.
Adam Page, dude. Yeah. He should be working top tier instead of.
I totally agree.
Dork Order.
Yeah.
It's like fuck.
I totally agree. Real quick, this is a watch along, and zombies have just broken into the fucking arena, and it's
to promote Batista's movie,
and it's ridiculous.
It's for Batista's movie. They gave him a plug.
It's still dumb. Don't either. I mean, like,
Hey, if a little callback to that, do you remember the ECW, the zombie?
Yeah,
I'm sure Justin might.
Oh, I do. I remember that night he worked with the Sandman, and he died actually too.
That night he was a zombie.
No, well, he died a couple years later from pills, but that's not even funny. Why did I laugh? But he was a Japanese wrestler, and You know, it was just one of those stupid ideas. They brought in one of my buddies, though, Tony DeVito. Remember when somebody, I think it was Sandman as well, they were doing the gimmick where Sandman was just beating up on random people, and they brought in Tony DeVito dressed up as Nacho Libre, like the Jack Black character. Remember that one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was Tony DeVito from ECW. He's one of the Baldies. A lot of people don't know that.
Great.
Yeah.
I really like Damian Priest a lot. I think Damian Priest, who's in here against the Miz, and now there's some like this is too much. Come on.
They're really going all out with the zombie thing.
Yeah, this is too much. All right.
They're probably shooting them a check because when does Army of the Dead come out? Did it come out this weekend?
The 21st.
Okay. You
Like
know, WWE loves them some Batista, so they're going to help him out.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
This is so bad, dude.
When you tell somebody,
who else would you give this to but the Miz? You know?
yeah, I guess. I just
The Miz.
this is so silly.
Because the Miz, this is the best Miz. Chicken shit heel Miz is the best Miz because he's just so such a chicken. I love it.
I listen.
The announcers leaving the desk is over the top.
I think this whole thing.
I'd two-piece one of these people if they pulled up on me and I know they
it's a zombie lumberjack match. Hold on. Hold the phone.
Lumberjack match.
Wait a minute, is one of the zombies dressed like Elvis?
It is. Do you remember? Because well, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie, but since it takes place in Las Vegas, I guess these are all the zombies from the Army of the Dead. But yes, this is quite a ridiculous angle.
It's a ridiculous angle, but it is a pretty cool movie, I must say.
Now
It's a fun movie. Yes.
See, PJ, you have to know that we roll with people that get like advanced screenings of shit. So I haven't been able to see it, but apparently these two have because they're in the know. They have their fingers on the pulse.
Yes.
Of the entertainment industry. This is.
I've got my fingers on the pulse of something else.
This is another one of those things that I feel like the WWE is doing because they could not do this with a live crowd. With a live crowd, this would get
they would shit on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Food out of the building.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to get their snacks during.
But look, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Miz is probably one of the only guys that can pull this off.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. This is why I feel, and again, this is why I say what I say, and it almost sounds like I'm poo-pooing on these guys, but I'm really not. But okay, give this to X-Pac back in. But if Damian Priest is X-Pac in this era where like they're trying to get him over as a serious character, and he was just out there selling for these zombies, or Sean, or any of those guys, that they would go right up to Vince and say, "Fuck you. I'm not doing this. You're gonna make me look like shit. You're gonna make the Miz look like shit. Our shit's now cartoon and comedy. And then we're supposed to get this over and be serious. No, not doing it." Yeah. Nobody's going to ever say that. I get it. It's a cross-promotional thing, but if they're going to do it, they should try to do it in some tongue-in-cheek. Don't take it so serious that you're actually scared. Like, try to do it like, oh, my God, what's going on? This is ridiculous. You know? Not like, oh, my God.
Tongue-in-cheek.
You're burying everybody.
This was a good opportunity for another one of those cinematic matches.
Exactly.
Yes. Listen, I would have 100% liked this better if it was cinematic. But in the ring, it doesn't matter how good this match is. Because the only thing you're going to remember are these dumb zombies.
Right.
This could have been even remotely fun. Just because it's the Miz, they should have just said fuck it and went all out Thriller and had the Miz like dancing with them. Or doing something.
Might as well.
Go all the way.
Yeah.
Don't have us believing like, oh my God, Miz, this is such a serious match. You've got to go out there and work.
Yeah. And just making Damian Priest like have to just stone face this whole deal. It's like, I mean, listen, I guess
because
props to him to be able to do it or whatever, but like
let me ask you, Nate, do you think that this hurts Damian Priest even though he's in the infancy of like this push?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
It won't hurt the Miz because he's been around too long.
You can't hurt the Miz.
Fine.
The Miz did a fucking rap song for fuck's sake a couple weeks ago. You can't hurt the Miz. The Miz, you can't hurt him.
But you're also if you think about it even deeper, the different way, you put Damian Priest at WrestleMania with Bad Bunny, which was actually a really, really well done thing.
I agree.
That got a lot of a lot of great press, and it was really good for him. Now you're going to parlay it with this.
Exactly.
Like, ride the wave.
Exactly.
Don't. Now you make him look like a joke again.
Well, no, he's cross promotion guy now. It's like Damian Priest is with Bad Bunny. Now he's with Army of the Dead. Like, if you've got a cross promotion, just put Damian Priest in that angle. That's how he comes off. That's how he comes off.
Nobody's going to get over with this. The only people getting over with this are the people from the theater, the movie company.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because even though Miz is jobbing for him, he's jobbing for who's got the check.
Yeah.
And so no one's going to ever see him beyond a gimmick.
They're literally fighting zombies. They're not fighting each other now.
Exactly. However, I wouldn't mind being one of the
they
zombies.
did the back-to-back movie spot.
Give a damn. The Miz got mouths to feed. Marie said, "Go get this check and come home." So he don't give a damn about none of this. He's just gonna get his check and go home. But
so
are
these? So Justin, these are indie dudes from local indie guys dressed as zombies because they're taking bumps here? Do you think? I mean, they're not
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
These are all the guys who used to run out to do the 24/7 belt with R-Truth.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the guys that are were in the bunny outfits for the. Who was that dude that used to come out with the fucking?
Jose?
Yeah, yeah. No, him and who's the other one? It was
Adam Rose.
Yes, Adam Rose, one of the Rosebuds.
Yeah,
What would have been cool though, and it could have been fun at least, is if they had some of the guys that weren't working this pay-per-view, like as the zombies. You know what I mean? Like doing a fun little tie-in with the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. The whole movie tie-in should have stayed in the back. Like they did it in the backstage, that's fine. But a zombie lumberjack match just is not.
This should have been a segment, a small video segment, no more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
The fact that this whole thing is happening in ring is just whatever. It's it just kills it for me as a fan. I don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
I feel you.
It just doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. It's
because
not.
if like anybody, even at the smallest child, like if you're not a wrestling fan, right, and you're watching something, and it's good, like a good wrestling thing, you'd be like, wow, man, these guys are really, I know it's not real and all, but if you're not a fan and you're watching something good, you can understand why wrestling is, and people like wrestling. But now on the flip side, when you're watching this, and there's, I'm just watching an angle, they got two guys literally going, trying to get to Miz, and it's like, and now they're bringing him in and biting him. Oh, the thing, like he's really getting the fucking bit right now. Like, how you're not supposed to say this is the corniest shit I've ever seen?
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Damian Priest wins, does nothing for him. You're
nobody
officially
cares.
the corniest guy on television.
Yeah. Yeah. What are they doing? Oh no. What are they doing?
And it's not even like the zombie thing. I know it's about the movie, but everybody's zombied out. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying the movie's not going to be good, but this is... So now where do you go from here? Now, Damian...
in this whole family structure. I'm loving it. I like the nobody's bitch shirt. If I could really legitimately wear that shirt places, I probably would, but I don't think that's real appropriate for me to be wearing, but I might get one anyway.
Pumps, can you hear us?
So anyway, yeah, like, so Pumps doesn't even like New Japan anymore.
Yeah,
he said he's not going to any longer fan. He's going to return all his gear, and we understand. And he traded in all his fandom to be a card-carrying member of the WWE universe, and we welcome Pumps with open arms because we know that's what he wants.
He is so mad he can't hear anything. He's you can tell he's very upset that this has happened to him today.
Hello, Pumps. If you are tuning in with us, your son has told us that he will no longer support New Japan, so we appreciate him coming back over to the dark side. Thank you for that. And so here we are, spending a Sunday together. I love it. This is the first time we've done a whole live stream together, like for a show, a watch along. Yeah. So welcome for everybody who's rocking with us today, and welcome to our very special guest. And it's so good to hear like the background of some of these things from an actual person who actually experienced it, and not somebody who just regurgitated what they heard. So that's pretty cool. And
we have
salute to the boss. For hooking it up.
100%. And Joe is with us again this week for the watch along, and it's
like I said, I want to start making this regular appearances. I love wrestling. I've refound my passion for it again. I think that especially with so much wrestling content out there, there really is a wrestling company for everybody. I feel like.
Oh yeah. You know, for me, it's, you know, I like wrestling. I'm not a complete purist like that. It's hard for me to keep up because there's a lot of gaps. From childhood and then in the teens, I was watching in gaps in college. So it's good for me to be with you guys, to be with Pumps when he can talk. With his curiosity.
Justin, I have a question for you. When you came out as Aldo Montoya and they gave you pyro, is that something that they tell you beforehand? And do you get any heat from any of the boys because you're getting fucking pyro and you're so fresh and new into the company?
They did tell me. Vince told me that he wanted to do pyro. And they just said that they're going to put these two things in the ring and just be about 5 feet in front of them. And that's it. I did get a little bit of heat. Yeah. Not that anybody would say it, but the veterans that had been there for a while, there were people talking because it cost a couple $1,000s to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I ask. And you're what, like 24? Like you're super.
At that time I was like 22.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you're coming in getting pyro.
I had nothing to do with it. When we originally spoke about the character, you know, Vince had a lot of different ideas, but it was also meant for a different market, and that's why I think. Wrestling today suffers in ways because Vince, I know he was a younger man, but was so on hand. Like I would actually talk to Vince. When he offered me my contract, he literally told me, and I was doing jobs, being a job guy. He goes, PJ, can I talk to you? We went for a walk out into a balcony of a war memorial. And we were talking, and he pitches me the job, and he goes, PJ, the World Wrestling Federation, it's like America. He points over to the American flag right on the flagpole. It's nighttime, so there's a light. You know, we're taping Raw. And he goes, so since the World Wrestling Federation is like America, we're the land of opportunity. PJ, we're going to give you an opportunity. Do you want to come work for the World Wrestling Federation? I'm like, really? No, I think I'd rather.
Pass.
Good, dude.
Yeah, hard pass.
What I mean by that is you had one-on-one.
Right.
Like, you know, when I went and asked for my release in 97 as Aldo, I went right up to Exit 9 in Stamford, 995, and held a meeting with Vince. You know, you could do that then. Now, it's from what I hear, haven't been there in a long time, you can't do that. So I think it was, and he did it not just with me, with all the roster. If there was a problem, or You know, you either, depending on the problem, if it was money, you'd go to JR because he was writing the checks. And if it was creative, you'd go to Vince. And it was important to have that relationship. That's why so many people love the WWF and working for them. So now it's just like, I think it's gotten so big. There's just such a huge disconnect, you know, different times, you know, it's all, it really was different times.
What did the back Bailey said say?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Is it say something loser? It says be a loser. It says something loser.
It must say Belair's a loser or something like that. Because
that's hilarious.
I love heel Bailey. I waited for so long for it to happen, and she keeps getting better and better and better.
Pumps, can you hear us, buddy? Are you back? Are you back in action?
Our long national nightmare is over.
Oh, there he is.
I have returned.
There he is. There he is. The pandemic has ended. Pumps has got it.
You show our guests your Crispus Attucks Confederate belt.
the Southern Heavyweight
How
Championship.
about I get him to verify the address of the home office on Triple H's crutches?
Nice.
The Southern Heavyweight Championship.
The Monticello Alexander Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I live in Nashville now. What do you want from me?
Also, Pump's coming in hot with the EC F&W shirt.
It's vintage. I don't buy reprints, baby.
Pumps.
Yes.
You haven't been here for a minute.
Yeah, thanks for talking about New Japan, Shawn Michaels, Jim Cornette, Smoky Mountain. You guys were hitting all the hits. Did you talk Carolina Panthers and Milwaukee Bucks when I was gone too? Jesus.
We talked about all the stuff you liked. Do you have any a question right off the bat for PJ? Because I know that I'm sure you have to make up for some lost time here.
Oh, way to put me on the spot.
I just want to give you, equal.
Okay, yeah. What did you think of Cody's promo this week? I know you do the AEW recap.
Oh yeah. I thought it was Cody's a great promo. I like his passion. I like the way he, I miss those kinds of promos from him. The content I thought was a bit all over the place. I didn't understand what he was trying to get. I mean, I do, but I don't. It was kind of, I don't know. But it wasn't bad. Like, he didn't say anything that he shouldn't have said. Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, and just more on that than,
Yeah,
we're beautiful. I know what he's trying to do, talking about race in America, and we're, black and white family, beautiful babies, get it, and God bless you. But I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the wrestler. Where's the next shot you're taking? Where's the wrestler Cody Rhodes? And talk about that. It was a way to kind of try to say something important, but at the same time, you're just not really saying anything that's going to relate to storylines and making people want to buy into whatever story you're trying to create for yourself. That's all. It's just like, it was good for what it was, but it's not, you forget that when you're on national television, like a TNT, that is, man, you can get famous on television for the next 20 years if you have enough memorable segments on cable television. And these kids don't understand how important it is to be on cable, to be on Raw, to be on Dynamite. And Jim Ross says it, make the most of your time. And what he's saying is every time you're on there, man, knock one out of the park. And, that's all. Just a lack of direction in that thing.
Yeah, it seemed all over the place with the America stuff. I understand that was the point to get to the American dream.
American dream.
Yeah,
American dream.
I get that. I don't understand why all of a sudden we're feuding with the British now.
The Brits. Right.
Didn't know we still had heat with them.
So that was a question of mine. So is Cody's deal he just feuds with people no one's heard of?
I guess. Yeah.
Wasn't his last feud against QT Marshall, right?
I feel that Cody kind of
and then before that he feuded with who's the feminine dude?
Sonny Kiss?
Sonny Kiss. Like he I feel like Cody goes out of his way to not put himself in major storylines, and he's trying to help young people, which I get. But at the same time, I want Cody Rhodes in major angles with major fucking players.
But you get that 3 weeks before the pay-per-view.
No, I agree. And I think everybody is just, this is one thing that I think is holding, this is my take. One thing that is holding AEW down, and it's a huge indictment of what Tony Khan is doing. Nobody's sweating it, right? And what I mean by that is when you work for Vince, every match counts, every minute counts. And if you're not doing something right, that could be your job. And in AEW, everybody's boys, everybody's buddy, and it's almost like everybody's going into individual business for themselves, not focusing on storyline the way I would like to see it focused, and not really moving the needle the way it should be, in my opinion, being moved. I don't know what goes on there, but I know that everybody's working way too comfortable. Not like, look, when Stone Cold, I hate referencing it all the time, when he was becoming Stone Cold and the Attitude Era and business was blowing up, every single time he went out there was almost like he was like the devil. There was fire in his eyes. There was a passion. He knew what he wanted to create and go out there and do it. Fans felt it too. When you go out there kind of wishy-washy, not really knowing, working with guys that we don't know or we don't know them yet, so we don't care about them. Not to be mean or dismissive, we don't know them yet. So, and you're giving this time, which is a precious resource in professional wrestling, on TNT Dynamite. Ooh. Come on, guys, we got to do better. And it's not their fault. I don't know. Maybe it is. Who knows? But the way they're structuring the show, everybody's just way too confident because nobody's going to get fired, right? We're all buddies. We're all Tony Khan's friends.
There's only been one that's gotten fired so far.
Who's that?
Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah. What happened to him? What did he do?
He had speaking out. He had some serious abuse allegations and stuff like that, and he went away. He went away to get help, and they ended their relationship.
Okay. Well, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, the only thing, and I don't want to get in trouble myself in cancel culture in 2021, but and I know Jimmy a little bit, not a lot. If there's been times, I don't know how many times, but I've heard of times where the accusations were also false. And what bothers me is if somebody makes an accusation and you don't allow it to come up in a proper way, maybe a court of law or something, it seems almost, you know what I mean? It's so sketchy. It's like, what kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like somebody said something and all of a sudden, I mean, it could be 100% true.
It's guilty until proven innocent in a lot of cases.
Sure.
I mean, it's like it's just a scary time where we have given so much power, and it happened a lot, and then all of a sudden it stopped happening. Right, all of a sudden, like a bunch of names came out of people that were misbehaving, and I guarantee you, because I know some of them, they probably were stuff that's not acceptable.
Right.
But and then I don't know. It's just crazy times, and then
there haven't been many that have
all
stuck.
Of a sudden, everybody just stopped coming out. Right?
Well, yeah.
Like there's no more indiscretions in the world. It's like we just moved from this needle. It's like, I don't know, man. We have to be very careful with the way we treat each other in this 100%. Business and just be good to one another, man.
100%,
empathetic, sympathetic, and kind. And I know it sounds corny, but we need to do better as human beings to one another and to protect our industry that we worked so hard to get, and our careers to get. It's sad in a way that we're so dismissive and not understanding other people. We just be nice. Be friendly.
Absolutely.
Bailey and Bianca are having a pretty good match here.
Yeah. We talk a lot on here about just the talent gap in the women's divisions. And again, so here we have the top, and then
we have one on top.
Well, one on top, Bianca's on the come up and she's a champion. Y'all know I love my good sister. But I'm not going to say she is the top of the company in terms of performance. That's always going to, for me right now, it's still Sasha, Bailey, Charlotte, Asuka.
Right. And Rhea Ripley.
Piper Niven, Kaylee Ray. I can go on.
I'm talking about just WWE.
I'm talking about NXT UK. That's WWE.
Well, okay. Fair enough.
I'm back, baby.
Fair enough to quote my boy Nate.
Is our international correspondent.
They don't count.
She does not count, Shay. You can bring her out with Lily. That doesn't count. Alexa Bliss is not a thing.
Sure, the NXT UK girls are killing the Raw girls who are not named Asuka or Charlotte, killing them, just killing them. And just the American talent divide is just so great. And I just want them to go more, I don't know, maybe it's a performance center type of things, of practice. Girls look great. Their bodies look good, beautiful girls, but just their in-ring skills are just so lacking. And even the ones that are good on the mic,
they're no Brandy. They're no Brandy.
Don't you start, Nate.
Hey, Pumps, I have a quick question. Did you get a chance to watch the Angelina Love and what's her name? She's like the announcer for Ring of Honor.
McKay.
Did you get a chance to see that match?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I was waiting to watch it with Mrs. Pumps because Mrs. Pumps also did roller derby, as Quinn McKay also did. And they had a long conversation outside of a show here in Nashville. So I was saving that as a little treat for her. But yeah, Quinn McKay, from what I saw, looked really good. Yeah. And I mean, Angelina Love's been doing it so long. She's a pro's pro.
It was was that Quinn's first match?
In Ring of Honor, yes.
Pretty good. I mean, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's great. She's a great talent. I think she's going to turn some heads when they get a more in the ring role for her.
Right.
Tell me, Pumps, because tell me, Pumps. So we saw the thing. I sent you guys the thing in our group chat that Thea Trinidad, aka Zelina Vega, might be coming back to WWE, or that they've spotted her around, or whatever they're calling it.
Yes, she was at the PC.
So now, when you think about that talent gap of the women, of those 4 women, and then you got the UK ladies and Rhea, Bianca's athletic and she can do a lot of things, but it's not the same for me like a Sasha, whose whole life has been immersed in pro wrestling. It breathes in her. Where do you put like Thea Trinidad in that realm of the bottom being? Let me leave her alone today on the Lord's Day. I'm not going to talk about her today.
Oh, you mean Lana? Lana being the bottom.
Up through Bailey, Sasha. Like, where do you lie her in that spectrum?
Because I would put her in the Nikki Cross role. A solid hand in the ring, but she never really had a chance to sort of break out.
I wish they would, because she's good on the mic too.
Well, the thing that I'm curious about is they said she was with Simone, Dwayne's daughter. So I don't know. I know she's tuned in with $7 because she played AJ Lee in Fighting With My Family. Mm-hmm. So was she just filming something? Was she just training with Simone?
Probably. After all, the way that all fell apart with Union. To our illustrious guest, Peter, sir.
Yes.
Unionization among pro wrestlers. Can you discuss that? Is that a taboo topic for you to talk about? What are your thoughts on unionization, wrestlers being able to use their images on platforms like Twitch and to garner their own income independently? Like you just mentioned that it seemed like AEW has a lot of people going into business for themselves over there, whereas you have the full Illuminati control over at WWE. Like, what's the happy medium? What do you think is a happy medium for athletes?
I think plain and simple. Look, I have every contract I've ever signed, and all of them specifically said we are an independent contractor. I file 1099 income taxes. So that means that that's my business with you, and I get to do other things, right? So to me, I think they should have the right to work with other people, right? I mean, it's just the one clause in the WWE contract, which to my understanding, as a bare bones contract, really hasn't changed much other than numbers, but the wording in the contract of every source of income, then you are no longer an independent contractor. You're
Right.
an employee, which then you should get benefits, health care. Look, some of the greatest, there's generations that we have lost, including my own, that never had proper health care, that never had any benefits. And most of us will end up broke when we die because there's no funds set up. And you could say, well, get a better retirement plan. Believe me, if you knew what we really make and how corrupt the system is, you'd be amazed that we survive as long as we do. Right. I'm financially speaking now. Because a lot of these contracts, a lot of people don't know, they're based on a downside of 100K. There's no guaranteed money except for the very privileged up top.
And that was the allure of WCW, right? All the WCW money back in the day was guaranteed.
Well, that was all guaranteed money.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to.
My contract read this. My second contract with WWE read 3 years, 100, 150, 200, meaning that's the least we could make. But it could always go up if you have.
Yeah, you're getting bonuses and
merchandise action.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say I think the first Aldo year I made 100.
Right.
And that's probably what I made. And I was on the road 200 plus days.
And you're on the hook for making towns. Yep.
All they pay for is the flight. They don't pay hotel. They don't pay hotel. They don't pay the rental car. They don't pay gas. They don't pay food. So I made 100K, spent 50 of it.
Right.
Then had to pay on the rest.
Taxes. Yeah.
So realistically, I make 25, 30 grand a year.
Right.
So what happens with a lot of people is you don't get your money right. So you're not paying those taxes because you can't afford to then.
Right.
So then people are getting into trouble like the Flairs and you name them, they've had troubles with them.
Well, sure. That's how Tammy and Chris got in trouble too.
We're always slave to the game in this world. And the best year I ever had was 2001. I made close to $300,000 and was able to buy a house and stuff like that. But still, it's like low six figures in the WWE doesn't mean anything. That's honestly, if you have a good paying 9-to-5 with benefits, you're doing better than a star on WWE TV. That's just fact.
Right.
That's fact. Because you're getting a 401k, you're getting benefits, and you're getting health insurance. Yeah. I had to pay for my own health insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And your premiums.
So yeah, it's true. People think like, oh, you may, why don't you have any money? I mean, people just don't know. They think, oh, celebrity in America, you're on TV. That's why I say maximize your minutes. It's so important. The reality of it is, it's just because you're on TV and people think you're famous or whatever, you're recognized. I'm not even going to say famous. You're recognizable. That's all you really got, dude. Because at the end of the day, it's about what you're making, what you're earning, and what you're putting away. Mm-hmm. Because that's not also always going to be there. So it's a very weird thing. I honestly wish there were ways to unionize it, but it will never happen. Right. Because in professional wrestling, just like in music or acting, so the biggest bunch of, and not everybody, but everybody will stab the next guy in the back to get a better deal. And if everybody promises to sign on to something, and then you sign on, but then half the people don't, then you're blackballed, and it's going to go back to the same way.
Then you're taking the piss test.
So many lawyers have asked me to join those class action lawsuits for concussions.
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah.
I never did it because A, I'm never going to see that money because it'll never happen.
Right.
And then B, I also blackball myself from Vince and any kind of capacity. If there were to be any future thing, or even create an action figure or retro, that'd be out the door.
Right.
So it's just a real shady world, dude. People have no clue how bad it really is. And I mean, not Cry Me a River, but it's like, I wish we could somehow.
It's the reality. Yeah. Do you think once Vince kicks the bucket and Hunter takes over that becomes more of a possibility because he was one of the boys?
No.
All right. Just fucking asking. Fuck you, pumps.
Hunter has been one of the boys in a very long time.
I got you. All right, I got you. Fair enough.
He's been not a boy longer than he's been.
I could go on for a couple of hours on how they think and how he thinks, but they will never want to actually help because the window of even the relationships with these companies and the way Vince, we signed 3 years. It's amazing. We signed those 3-year contracts, which basically means you can get rid of us at any time.
Yeah.
But we got to stay to you for, you know what I mean? And I think the buyout is 3 months worth of salary.
Wow.
So if they release you and you've got time on your contract, you don't get your whole contract. You get 3 months.
Wow.
The 90-day clause, that 90-day performance clause, you get that. So they average out what you're making, and then you get that. And then go.
And
So you can't win with them.
And you still have no medical. You now have time into whatever, and you have to. And if I'm guessing, if I could pull back my HR pass, when you get the payout, it's being taxed to like 42% because it's not technically salary.
Yeah, it's unearned. Yeah, absolutely. Capital gains.
Ma'am.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's so rigged. It's ridiculous.
And that's why there are so many guys, legendary people. I mean, I know Jimmy Superfly Snuka died broke. Died of cancer with no benefits. I mean, hopefully he had state medical at that time. I don't know if he was smart enough to do it or not, but that's what a lot of guys do end up doing, is having to go to get. I mean, would you imagine somebody of that stature having to go to the state for medical?
Famous.
I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but I mean, at some point, when you give your body to this game, at least have some medical coverage.
Right.
They always took one thing I will say, ECW did the best job for me. Paul Heyman, because it was part of my clause, because I understood. I just got married in 1997. I'm still with my beautiful wife, going on 25 years, or 24. Sorry, 24.
Salute to her.
I knew we knew we wanted to have children, and when I signed my contract, I required Paul to get me health insurance. And so when my first son, who's a junior in college right now at Rowan University, he was born in 2000, and $70,000 or $80,000 the cost of the pregnancy was covered by the insurance at Paul Heyman.
Oh, good.
But those were few and far between. I could have never negotiated that with the WWE. Because then Vince would have said, well, PJ, if I do it for you, I got to do it for everybody else.
Right.
And in ECW, it was just a me and Paul thing. And of course, I'm not going to say shit.
Us either.
Yeah.
Right. So.
You brought up
strange business, guys. Strange business.
Yeah.
You brought up action figures. I know you're pretty well friendly with Kurt Hawkins. Are you in talks with him about maybe getting on Zombie Sailor's Heels and Faces line, or maybe a Super 7? What's that?
I don't even know. I'm not even familiar with that.
The Heels and Faces, it's an independent relaunch of the Hasbro retros.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm surprised Hawkins hasn't told you about this. He's in it.
He was just at my house last week.
Well, that son of a bitch. You gotta
that son of a bitch.
Now I'm going to hit him up today.
Yeah.
He came by. He's from Long Island. He had a show in Connecticut. So he's like, hey, PJ, what's up? You going to be home? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I got an old ECW figure I want you to sign for my collection. I'm like, yeah, come. He knows where you know where I live. Just come by, text me when you're here. So on the way to the show, he came by with one of those AEW kids that he trains. I don't know which one. He's in a tag team.
Max Caster, VSK.
Yes, that kid and a couple of other kids, but I didn't recognize them. But yeah, they kayfabe you on everything, dude.
Yeah, no, they're but he's got a Super 7 figure, and he's got a retro in that line.
But is that with WWE? Well,
no,
obviously not.
No,
are they doing that on their own?
Yeah, it's completely independent.
I love that your encyclopedia ass is dropping this for him right now.
Well, I listen.
You find out and you go get a bag. Just shout us out. Just shout out our show for leading you to the bag. That's all we want. Just a shout out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys did a signing not too long ago, and he did a vlog from the signing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured he would have clued you. He would have smarted you up on that, but
no. But I'm gonna let him know today. When I get on with you guys,
I want a fucking T-shirt that says "Kayfabing on everything."
That's a fucking genius shirt.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah,
Pro Wrestling Tees, Justin.
Yeah, kayfabe everything.
That's a great shirt. I'll submit it to Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, do it. That's yours, buddy. Dude,
Yeah,
I made some money on it.
That's our gift to you.
Your phrase. Your
I
phrase.
get a pen. Hold on.
See, I was gone for an hour, but I made up for it.
That was great.
Okay.
There's going to be a hot seller on Pro Wrestling Tees. Pumps.
Yeah.
Hey,
Kayfabe and everything.
I figured he would have smartened him up. He's so big in the action figure game. I mean,
yeah. I hope if we see a Just Incredible Hasbro figure from Zombie.
well, he had a Figures Toy Company, but Figures Toy Company sucks.
Yeah.
Peter, we throw out a
That's
bunch
such
of
a good
shirt
figure,
ideas
too.
like
It's the best
every
figure
show.
they have.
Yeah.
It is, but that company overall just does. I mean, their figures they buy people's rights, and then they sit on the figure in the hopes that something will happen, and they'll blow up, and it just ugh.
Well, they don't
Pumps, I
sell
love
very
that
many
you
because
love-
they're
I
so
love
expensive.
that you know that.
Yeah.
They don't
I mean-
sell very many because they're so expensive. But I don't even have one anymore. I want to get one, but they're like fucking almost $40.
Wow.
But they're
But
nice.
these-
They have like the real T-shirt and the
But these
Yeah.
New Japans, these are like 50. You know what I mean? I'm a New Japan mark, but still, you know.
Okay, Pumps, how much New Japan stuff did you buy this week?
Oh, quite a bit. I celebrated really hard on Bullet Club Day.
Oh, quite a bit.
I got this hat. Oh yeah. You know how normally you get like a mailer bag from Pro Wrestling Tees? No, my ass got a box.
See, Pumps, I need you to step up your Instagram, and because you need to be an influencer for
Well,
them.
you know, I don't want to come off. I mean, I'm as thirsty as anyone, but I don't want people to know it.
Okay.
Shit, I'll start wearing the Pro Wrestling Tees in junkets. We should start doing that, Jay. Let's make some Pro Wrestling Tee money.
I know that's right. I'm with
There's
it.
no money in Pro Wrestling Tees, dude.
That's my guy. Hey,
true.
Better go on
Hey, saving everything.
Dude, I have 20 shirts available. If you're not over, it doesn't matter. Really, if you're not on TV, if you're not over to some capacity, you could because there's like a million things there.
Yeah.
There's like 500,000 are cooler than yours.
People have to want to seek out your store, and that's with anything. That's what you know what I mean. It's like it's
right.
You know.
Okay,
it's,
look at this. Okay, so how about this then? Why don't we make this T-shirt? And I know a couple of platforms I could probably get to promote it for us for free because they like me. So we should make this shirt tonight. We could get paid. And if we really wanted to be cheap, we could just do it through Teespring, and then we don't even have to pay no money.
I like it.
Yeah, because we can design it ourselves and just upload the design. We don't have to use their boo-boo fonts and their regular ass shit that they got over there. You could just design the whole thing. We could make that shit tonight. And then every time there's a pay-per-view, we just tweet it out or post it. And then that way it's in front of the fans. It's not specific to any one brand. It's not specific to any one wrestler.
I like it. And we're
Feel
split.
me?
5-way split.
Let's do. I'll take a 5-way split. We sell like a damn 100,000 shirts.
Jay is so glass half full. I love it. She said, I thought she was gonna stop at 100. If we said like 100,000 shirts.
You gotta dream big.
A good month for Pro Wrestling Tees is $30.
Yeah.
On the first of the month, I get $30 in PayPal. And
You're getting a free T-shirt.
They don't even give you that anymore.
Oh,
Dude, I gotta pay.
Come
That's
on.
fucked up shit. You're
They
supposed to
do.
get like one per design, and like now they've even started moving back on that. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Getting
Ow.
fucking rich off the boys, you fucking. Anyways,
I'm with it. Listen. When I do merch, when I do my own merch,
I just sent you that link, PJ or Justin, just so you know for later.
all right, right on.
So you see that lineup. It's got Sabu's in it.
just like that motherfucker was at my house last week.
When you finish with us, you call him and be like, man, you ain't shit. I had to go on this thing with these strangers, and they put me up on the game, and you was
Last time,
just
this is
here.
this is the last time you bring your little AEW young boys around my house trying to get an autograph. I'm Justin fucking Credible.
I feel like a whore. I'm a whore.
And he's out there selling shit right now.
It's early. It's early. You're still gonna get it on the ground floor. They haven't even put out the figures yet. They've just like announced the 5 people that are in it.
Wave 1 is
Who's
complete.
in it? Who are the first ones?
It's like Dino Bravo.
I think he's wave 2. I think.
Oh, okay. So it's Sabu,
Myers, Hawkins, Hawkins and Ryder.
Right.
Earl Hebner, Dino Bravo.
Earl Hebner before Justin fucking Credible. This is ridiculous.
Well, take it up with your boy Zombie.
Down like that. No, that's not happening.
No,
take it up with Zombie. I didn't do it.
Justin's in. Justin's in wave 3, 100%.
We should go.
Probably wave 30.
Wave 30. No. You're gonna after this show's over, you're gonna get on the horn and you are gonna be in wave 3 immediately.
Right.
I am. I swear to God, I am gonna call him. Be like,
yeah, you should.
Ask him why you weren't in. Ask him why you weren't in Retromania, and he was too. Because Dreamer's in it.
I've been trying to get WWE to put out an Aldo for years, and they won't do it.
Well,
I think a lot of people would buy the Aldo.
So do I.
It doesn't exist. What a concept!
Yeah, like a Comic-Con exclusive.
Yes,
Aldo.
That's exactly what it should be. It should be a Comic-Con exclusive. It's like I bought the shop.
Don't say it. I'll get it.
Oh, you have it right? Yeah. You remember the Shockmaster, right? Tugboat, Justin.
I wouldn't even know how to get over to those people though nowadays.
Yeah.
There's so much red tape. Like, who do you even talk to?
Hey, PJ, you know how I've been getting a hold of some of these guys? LinkedIn.
Yes.
But who?
There's the whole departments. There's all the departments are on there. You can message them directly.
Look, this is the Shockmaster exclusive from Comic-Con.
Like Shockmaster.
Pumps,
you know?
Yeah, Pumps is gonna show him.
Uncle Fred.
There he is. There's Fred, upside down because he fell through the wall.
He never wrestled as Shockmaster.
No. Now listen, you don't think that an Aldo Montoya, and you don't think a fucking Portuguese Man of War exclusive would have fucking worked?
Oh, I think it would. I mean, it would sell. Look, the collectors love anything that, you know what I mean? And that's one of the few that have never come out. If you really think about it.
Hey,
I don't have any heat with The Office. So
is there a Bob Sparkplug Holly figure?
Huh?
No.
Is there a Bob Sparkplug Holly figure?
No.
I was just
he had the closest he had, I believe, was one of those street rod racers. You know, the race cars that they were doing.
I have a Ruthless Aggression one, and that's it. I have one action figure from them.
And then the toy maker, the San Francisco toy maker.
One from Toys Figure Inc.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Did Jake ever manage you on TV?
Yes.
Or was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that would be a sick 2-pack.
Yeah.
Jake Roberts. Although fucking
Jake is technically still under a Legends deal.
I keep forgetting he's in AEW.
But he's still got a Jake the Snake in that gimmick. He's got a Legends deal for that.
Okay.
Which
That's
is crazy.
Though I think if you don't got a Legends deal, they're not going to make it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Mattel. I know that there's stuff Mattel would love to do, but they can't. Yeah.
Shay, our producer, PJ wants to talk about your work with the Insane Clown Posse. Have you worked with the Insane Clown Posse?
I did, yeah, a couple times.
For like the Juggalo, like the Juggalo Fest?
Yeah, I did one of the Gathering.
The Gatherings, okay.
And, before the Gathering, I went on tour with them for a Northeast Loop.
Oh, that's cool.
They do concerts and wrestling all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was shitty.
It was shitty.
It was really shitty. The
In
money
what way?
sucked. The accommodations sucked. I was on a tour bus.
Boy.
Fuck
Oh,
that,
all right.
dude.
I win it. Listen, I got no allegiances to the Insane fucking Clown Posse, so
No, sir.
If I'm they're
Speak
cool
your
guys
truth.
and all, but the money wasn't good. The tour bus life, that shit sucks. I'm too old for that shit.
yeah.
So if the money ain't good, I don't like their music, so that's not good.
That,
So I'm just by myself,
either,
smoking
buddy.
cigarettes and drinking the entire tour. No good.
Yeah.
And you're out in the Midwest where you don't want to be anyways.
Right.
Like fucking Iowa and fucking Ohio and all that fucking shit.
I'm not a real fan of the Insane Clown Posse either.
And you're sleeping in, dude, and they're so cheap, they won't even get you a room. You're sleeping on the bus.
No.
Yeah, the fat guy and the skinny guy get a room.
Of course.
And then we're on the bus. Yeah, I'm so pissed, dude. I'm like, never again. $300 a day, dude. Fuck you.
Come on.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Way to go, Shay. This is why you don't get a mic.
Yeah. Did Shay
You had to
set
get
us
a
up?
shower, however you couldn't shower on the bus. We weren't getting rooms, and the buildings were old concert halls that didn't have shower.
Who did you have to work
in the winter?
Who did you have to work with? Who did you have to work with?
I worked with a bunch of cool people. Don't even remember, but I know one of them was I think I'm not maybe FMW. He's one of like Muda's guys.
Oh, okay.
Forgot his name. Really talented dude. Worked with him.
Speaking of Muda, you had a match against the great Sasuke, correct?
Oh yeah, I worked with Sasuke a lot in ECW.
Yeah, and you beat him.
I worked with Muda at the Gathering.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Horrible match. We were outside.
I fucking love you, bro. I fucking love you. He's like, but you think like he leads off like it's about to be like this awesome story, and he's like, oh yeah, Insane Clown Posse. Yeah, I worked with them. How was it? Fucking sucked.
It was the shits.
And he's like, no, great Muda. I worked with him, man. Great Muda. How was it? Shitty.
Well, listen. Here's why. I'm working with Muda, and it's outside at the Gathering, right? And right near a lake. The ring is set up, maybe 1,000 people, 700 people, whatever. It looked good around, and they're taping it. So one of the juggalos or whatever, I don't know how this huge fish happened, but somebody throws a dead fish into the ring. And of course, it's me and Muda. So I take the fish to town on Muda. And then I didn't know he got really he started gagging on it, the smell of the fish. And I'm using it as like a high spot. And,
is he selling the fish? He's bumping for the fish?
Oh, I'm going. That thing, I'm going.
Oh, this is the greatest story I've ever heard.
Well, if somebody's going to throw a fish, what is Just Incredible supposed to do? Just ignore it.
Right. Yeah.
I had to do it. Don't blame me. Blame the fucking guy that threw it in.
Hey, and you called it in the ring, brother.
Called it in the ring.
And Muda was like, PJ, never again. Never again. Not very good. Not very good. He was cool though. He was cool. He was very cool. Muda was a kayfabe motherfucker, dude. He kayfabed that he couldn't understand English, but he knew how to speak perfect English. A lot of those Japanese wrestlers would do that to you to try to get you to work their stuff, and they literally would be like, and I'm not trying to devalue or I'm not making fun of anybody through the accent, but they really would be
they're kayfabing.
They're
kayfabing everything.
Yeah, they do. Justin, no speak English. High spot, maybe little, like that. And I'm like, dude, you lived in the States forever. People have told me that you speak English. Maybe not great, but you know what I'm saying. If I say clothesline, tackle, drop kick, you're gonna understand that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Japanese wrestlers are known for that. This way,
He still does it.
Justin, I have a question. I used to work at a mall once, and Tajiri came in, and I talked to him, and I said, "Oh, hey, I'm a big fan of your work," and he looked at me like he understood nothing of what I was saying to him. So I was going to ask you: does Tajiri know English, or was he kayfabing me?
Tajiri didn't speak too good of English. That's true. No, he didn't. That
was a shoot then. Okay.
He didn't speak great.
Got a super chat.
But he knew how to speak Spanish because he was with his deal with Super Crazy. They had the same manager that would bring him in, and Tajiri spent a lot of time in Mexico with Super Crazy. So they they were friends, so they spoke more to each other. So Tajiri was not a gimmick, but Muda was in the NWA for 5 years. You know what I mean? Sonny Ono was his contact, and I know Sonny Ono speaks 100% perfect English. He's from Tampa. Yeah, not from Japan.
We do have a super chat, though. This is from Larry Newbill. He says, hey, Justin, if you had a match in 2005's ECW One Night Stand and you got to choose your own opponent, who would you have chosen as your opponent?
Probably Jerry Lynn.
It's a great call.
Great answer.
Yeah. Were you not in the 2005 ECW? They didn't ask you.
I was.
You were. So what?
It was the first match, Lance and Jericho.
Oh, okay.
I came out and stuck Chris into something. Lance beat him, and then we did our Impact Player shtick.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then also I came back out in the main event, and I think I pile drove Tommy Dreamer on barbed wire during the Dudley's match with I think it was Funk or the Sandman. I'm not sure. Dudley Sandman. It's one of those things. I don't even know.
Right.
But I got involved twice, beginning and
nice.
end.
Nice. So there is a world championship match happening right now. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley are outside of the ring, going to town on the.
Does this not just scream though? Seriously, not to disrespect these guys, but like Boarfest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what.
I don't like why is Braun in it? First of all, there's a good these hands. They could do some other stuff with him. Okay, I get the Drew and Big Bobby back and forth thing, but I don't know. Maybe it's just Braun that's messing up the energy of the match. It doesn't need to be a triple threat match. It's kind of stupid how he got thrown into this story because it made no sense.
Braun's the odd man out, and he's the one that almost feels not figured in where these two are. You know, the bigger stars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hate like the way they do that, like the cheap little crash boom effect. I'm not a big fan of it because it looks so fake. And these guys are probably on.
Sweet. Can't wait. It's no Stairway to Hell match versus Tommy Dreamer. Tell you that.
That's Pumps. That's Pumps says that's his top 5 ladder matches of all time.
Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean? That was incredible.
I'm dead serious.
No pun. No, pardon the pun.
He put that the minute Joe said that you were coming on the show, he put in the text message immediately.
Which one are you talking about?
Oh God, was that?
Because there was I think there was like 3. I know.
Fairly
I
legal.
don't even know
Was it Heat Wave?
I think it was Heat Wave.
Heat Wave '96 or something.
I don't know. There was one with XPW.
No,
not that.
it was ECW.
But that couldn't have been the one. There was one at Guilty as Charged.
That might have been it.
I think might be the one you're talking about.
That was
it. That's it. It's the one at Guilty as Charged because
because it had the big purple letters.
Yeah,
big
it's on
purple
Peacock. I
letters.
watched it the other night. Yeah.
Was that the Tombstone with from the ladder? Yeah. Great.
Yeah. And we did the Diamond Cutter RKO from the two ladders.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like a shit match. I don't know why I like that. Who'd want to see that? I'd rather watch a zombie lumberjack match.
I remember tape
Don't
trading.
get hung up on.
Yeah, 100%. Top 5 ladder matches of all time. Yeah.
I remember tape trading that show just to see that match because I didn't get I couldn't buy pay-per-views.
Let me check my gimmicks. See if I got it here.
Yeah, I watched. I used to watch the TV show late at night, like 2 a.m, and then they would show highlights from the pay-per-views and shit.
Oh, from the paper, yeah.
And I'd be like, bruh, and then I have to go in like the infancy of Electronic Bay and you know, buy a VHS for $35. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But no, man, it's you should be extremely proud of your body of work, sir.
Yeah, man, those are it was cool. The best part about it was what you just said, like being proud of it, because and I know this is gonna sound corny, depending how old you are, but like, you know, when I was younger, like there was like Nirvana and shit, and it's like the integrity of rock and roll, dude, and it's like this is the integrity of pro wrestling. ECW, we did it for the love.
Yeah.
Like, all that fucking bullshit. But
Yeah.
we believed it. We thought we were doing something.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sure.
Which was, I think it was like 250 and 275.
Yeah.
3 years, which would have been
because Storm went
lot
to
of money.
WCW, right?
Well, that made Lance bought his first house outright, no
Right.
mortgage,
Yeah.
and which he now rents to his students that come up to his camp. You know, like that's property when you buy it is, you can't beat that because that's yours. You know, that's
Sure. Oh, you're telling us out here in Los Angeles.
Oh,
I can't even fucking sniff by a house. Like it's like I mean I guess I could, but I'd have to live somewhere I wouldn't like in the valley. And who wants to live in the valley?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to commute. I'm also not going to commute 2 hours to work each way. You know what I'm saying? Like
with traffic over there,
Yeah.
you can't even move, dude.
no, yeah, it's you know.
Well, I mean, regular. What do you got? At least an hour to go through that, right? At least.
Oh, well, it depends. Listen, I work 16 miles from my house, and it takes me an hour to get to work.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what I mean? You
That's
know?
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Come to the South, baby. We're wide open.
Until Elon gets those fucking underground tunnels.
Oh, the
Fuck that.
hyperloops. Yeah, the hyperloops.
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley is retained in a triple threat that nobody cared about
Yeah.
versus
Woohoo!
Then you could at least, you got big guys to catch them on some big dives. You could do some different aesthetics. Yeah, you need a balancing act there.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
The best part of this match was MVP's suit because it looks like a Laker tribute suit.
Oh, it does. It does.
A lot of people wearing purple today. I wonder if it's a Kobe thing, but
Most
I
likely.
like Triple H. I like MVP's suit.
MVP has been crushing it.
Yeah, he has.
He really has had a resurgence. I'm stoked for MVP. I feel like he's not having to wrestle, but really holding his own as a manager, which in a time where there's no more managers. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, it's Paul Heyman and it's MVP and I mean, you know what you know? It's
the Somalia.
And he's one of the good guys too.
Yeah, MVP's a good guy. Yeah,
I had before I think he was with MLW. I had a small podcast called I Hate This Podcast, and I had him on. What?
No, that's a great name.
Hey.
I hate this podcast.
Wear the shirt. I hate this town.
Yeah. No, I know. I just once you said it, I went, oh, I like it. That's fantastic.
And I had him on, and we talked for like a couple of hours on like prison reform because I've been in jail for a minute. I spent not a long time, but I spent 45 days in jail was enough.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's I know he did a lot more time, but still it was something that to this day really it bothers you. It's not a nice, comfortable thing. So we were just speaking about it was just very cool.
And he was in jail. He was in jail prior to becoming a pro wrestler too, correct?
That's what. Like, and we didn't plan anything. We just started talking, and he's just such a well-spoken, well-versed man, and a humble and kind man.
Yeah.
And he's a fan of ECW. When he was telling me, like when he was in doing his time, that he would watch. They'd get it down where he was doing stuff and time, and it was just an organic, very nice, wonderful conversation. He's a cool dude, very honorable man, nice dude. So I'm happy to see the good guys get a break, and do well for themselves.
For sure,
he's a good dude.
Are we watching a testing commercial for WWE again?
No, it's a vaccine one.
All I know is I've been meaning to bring this up the last two shows, but then I get high and forget.
What?
I am all about Pat McAfee.
I love Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee is killing it. He's fantastic. And Pumps seems to be biting his tongue.
He should be in the ring. He should be in the ring.
I know, but he's really good as an announcer.
And he's fantastic as a heel. That match with Adam Cole was the best debut anyone's ever had.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. He'll be paired up with Damian Priest soon.
It works for Pat McAfee because he's coming at it from two different perspectives. He loves the business. He's a fan of the business, but he has not yet been poisoned by the boys and the system that is the WWE, which when it gets in your head, like for me, when I got there, dude, it always fucks with you. When I came back for X Factor, there was still fucking like PTSD from the Aldo shit because you'd get bullied by the. I'm dead serious, dude. You got bullied by guys.
I don't mean to laugh. It's just
say that.
Yeah.
So like he's doing that, juggling that fine line of I'm a fan. I know what I'm doing, but you don't have people in your ear saying, "Oh, you're going to get heat if you do this,"
because he kind of has.
They're not. They're going to stiff you in the ring if you say that.
Because
and that happens a lot more than a lot of people know. So he's got the best of both worlds, right? Because he's not from this business.
Right, because he kind of has 1 foot in, 1 foot out, where he also
he doesn't need it too.
Right, he does his Pat McAfee show, where he gets most of his. That's his breadwinner. You know what I mean? He's a fan that's getting to do it, but he's also really good at it.
Well, he was. I think he was one of the highest paid punters in the league for several years too. So.
Oh yeah, no, I mean no doubt the dude's an athlete.
And he was trained by the hustler Rip Rogers.
Better than fucking Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
I know you do a show with Vince Russo. I listen to Cornette quite a bit. I know, but yeah, Cornette talks about the hustler Rip Rogers, and he was a big McAfee guy.
I love Rip Rogers. I think Rip Rogers is awesome. I still don't know, and this is really, I gotta say this, where Vince Russo gets his heat.
I don't know him.
I don't care what you say about him. Like I understand if you do. He is one of the kindest, most like he gave me a great position, paying me really good money to do something, and his kindness, like he's a really good dude. Like he even admits it. Like, yeah, I get it. I booked a lot of really shitty stuff, but the
the, you know, one of the golden eras. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody, there's a lot of people don't like Dave fucking Meltzer. A lot of people don't like Dave Meltzer. It's the same difference. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean, the difference is that Russo actually was in wrestling and Dave Meltzer is not. I understand that is a very big difference. I get that, but I'm just saying, like I've listened to the Russo show, and I think I enjoy listening to. I like listening because when you have multiple people that were in the same place when the same thing, when a certain thing happened, and people have different views about what happened, even though they were all in the same place at the same time, that's interesting because you're getting to see how people perceived a situation. It doesn't mean one person is right and one person is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's pretty interesting. You got 4 people in a room and something happens, you're going to get 4
very different accounts,
versions of what happened, and a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? And so there's why would there be heat for giving matches of all time, and you don't need to remember everything about it because I was so drunk with that show. But anyway, my point being, Pumps and I were there, we have a couple pictures, but we don't have video of.
We got some great stories though.
Of that memory, you know what I'm saying? So like when we talk about X Factor, we talk about these bits, we talk about this and this. You can actually go back and look at that shit, and then things can strike your memory about that day. So you have to remember everything about everything because your professional career is literally videography. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's cool. That's that, you know. I mean, would you rather have medical insurance than that? Sure. But, you know, it is what it is.
Hear you.
You know?
Yeah. It's funny. I never watch my stuff back because those times I have, I've horribly hated it. Because I just don't like the way I look. I don't like the way this thing, like I always criticize. It's like, dude, when I love the Marvel universe. The Avengers are some of my favorite movies. And like I'll hear Robert Downey Jr., who I adore as Iron Man, and I'll hear him talk about, you know, his part of it. And like he, you know, I don't watch that stuff, you know, it's kind of whatever. And I always was like, you guys are so full of shit. How do you not watch these epic movies that you were a part of?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're lying, but no, they're not, because I can't watch that shit because I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I remember I was coked up that night. That was horrible. Right. Or I was fighting with my wife this night.
Yeah.
Or, something else, and I just see.
Yeah. After this match, this happened. And
or I was so fat, it looked horrible.
Right. Yeah.
So I get it, because it's better. I'd rather just keep the good memory.
Sure.
Than like really analyzing it. I'll just leave it alone. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Can't hurt me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So. I totally get it.
Oh, is this the main event?
Yeah, this is the main event. I'm going to use the bathroom really quick before we get into this main event.
I got to get a cigarette. So same thing.
All right. Okay. Give me 1 second here.
I knew Roman Reigns was on because Jay was like,
My God, it's main event time.
Oh, my snack is on the TV. Yes.
That's a whole damn deal. And in 8K. Give us the whole match in 8K. Not the Cesaro perspective. Give us the Roman perspective in 8K for the whole match.
That is a strong looking man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I'm Salute to this him right now, DC Universe Lobo.
I love it.
Ooh, in whiteface? Is that a good call?
I mean, they don't have to do the same exact Lobo look. They could have the little eye things that he has and keep him Roman Reigns. You don't want to cover up that pretty face.
That's fair.
I want to see what the other Uso brother is going to do. How this match is going to go off the rails. Because it's not going to, even if it's it's going to be a clean pin. They're not going to put Cesaro over Roman. But what are the Uso brothers going to do? Are they going to fall apart? Or is one going to swing back and it's going to be dissension in the family? Like, they could do a lot of things, but we could depend on WWE to probably not do the more interesting thing, but they going to do something.
And look, they did a really good job of building this match up, too, because it actually give a shit about everybody that's involved in this match.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Cesaro, man.
Is Cesaro wearing chainmail shorts?
It don't matter. He got fangs.
Right? Remember that thing that Scott Steiner used to wear on his head?
Nate, we've done this bit before.
We have?
Yes.
When?
Because remember you said something about trunks, and then I made a joke about Big Papa Trunks. Was the
damn
joke.
It! You have it. Yeah. See? Sorry, bro.
You time traveled that night too.
I don't have a videography of my career.
Actually, you do. It's called YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Jesus, I really am the only one that watches.
That's funny.
Big Papa Trunks.
Yeah. Yeah. So good for Cesaro. I don't think anybody really believes that he's going to win. But
he's been good for so long. They act like he's finally getting his shot. No, you kept him down.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
He was anywhere else, he would have been world champ.
Right, and you can't believe that Cesaro is going to be the guy to take the belt off of Roman Reigns.
No. Oh, you don't think with a 3-week build they're going to change the title? What?
I want the Uso brothers to get back together and become the tag champions, since Tamina has a tag belt now, so they can do a whole Samoan family.
We've been asking for that for months.
Well, Tamina, they won.
No, I know. To join. I want them all to join Roman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With Nia Jax too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you're Samoan. You're in the gang.
She would have to. They would have to now because Samoa Joe is gone. They should have put her with Samoa Joe in their own kind of isolated Samoan faction. And then they would have put Tamina with the Usos and Roman. And they should have put Naomi with the Hurt Business. But they broke up the Hurt Business and screwed that up. I heard, a little word on the street that they were trying to make that happen. One of the members of the group told me that, and it got vetoed. And they put her in the babyface thing with Lana.
She would have been great in the Hurt Business.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They broke that up way too soon. I really like the Hurt Business.
They were looking good. Everybody was performing. I don't know.
They should have used these zombies in this show here to kill off Retribution. I think that would have been a better way to ruin those characters.
Boy, that sucked.
I'm so happy I missed that.
Mustafa Ali. He was and so they put the one Retribution guy. Now he's Nigerian and he's with Apollo. He's Nigerian. Well,
he was in Raw Underground.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I thought they took one of the Retribution guys and just kind of threw him over there. Okay, that's cool.
Justin, how do you feel about Roman's heel work right here? It's quite the taking the powder, the whole like. I just think, I mean, from a heel, you know what I mean, like with no crowd, because he doesn't usually those heel moves have to play to a crowd, right? You want people to boo, like. So I just think he's really doing some top notch. For not having a crowd, I think he's really playing it well.
Oh, I mean, he definitely is. I mean, he's got it down masterfully at this point. Seems very loose out there, and just he's working at a nice pace too, taking his time to get those facials that discuss. That's really important. So I do too. Like, I mean, look at the cell right here. He's holding onto his chin, something you never see in AEW, which hurts. You got to sell this shit.
Yes, that's actually something that I had in my notes too. I feel like selling is a lost art, man.
I don't understand how, man, or why, because it's so intricate, and it really can. Look, at the end of the day, we want to see action, but we also want to feel and get invested. A lot of times, like the biggest works and the biggest times we get into a match is we think the wrestler is really hurt. And I've made people believe that I'm really hurt many, many times when I'm not.
Yeah.
And because it adds an
art.
extra
That's
layer.
part of the art.
It adds a layer to it. Because the fans are thinking that too. It's like we got to play. It's a game of chess. Yeah. And even Cesaro right there selling too. And if the younger kids would just slow it down at the right times, man. It's like, because if it don't hurt, then what does it matter? Why the fuck you doing it? You know, show the effects. Rocky Balboa was the biggest seller of all time. And when he made his comeback and kicked everybody's ass, we wanted to, and that's Rocky got his ass kicked.
Right.
And that's what, like, look at Cesaro right here grabbing that elbow.
Right.
They're doing nothing right there. They're doing nothing.
Right. And then Roman he heals off over the thing. I think the WWE has the right pacing sometimes.
They do.
But it's just not executed correctly. And I think part of that is because there's no fans.
It's that. Yeah. The
Speaking of that, I mean, Roman has been a heel. Like, he started as a heel throughout the whole pandemic, right? He hasn't actually been a heel in front of a live crowd besides WrestleMania, right?
I don't think so.
Do you think that benefits him, though? Because I feel that, look, he's doing some of the best work of his life, I feel. And I think the crowd would maybe cheer for a lot of some of the stuff that he's doing. Do you think that him in the pandemic has helped him be a better heel?
Yes, I also think it's helped him be a better fucking actor to leave the WWE at some point. But yes, I think that I think he's leaned so far into it that he's wanted to. He seems like, I mean, fuck, I don't know, but it seems like he was over being the super baby face that people hated for no real reason. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Let me, wrestling aside, I'm gonna tell you from a woman perspective. Roman Reigns is a good-looking man. And no one believes that Roman acts like that. That baby face, super sweet. Just let me put my coat down so you can walk on it. No one believes that. No hot man is like that in real life. It's just not. So him acting like that, trying to be that type of character and be that John Cena, that lovable guy that everyone loves, it just didn't fit him. Because he's got kind of like a swarthy hotness. And so no one believes that. Him acting like this is very believable, and it makes him even hotter. And then you have his cousins, who he literally grew up with. They were children literally together. So him talking shit to them, that's probably half the shit he wanted to say growing up. Boys are going to thump each other. Hell, me and my brother thumped each other up as kids. Yeah. So he's just getting to work out all the shit he wanted to say growing up that he knew he'd get smacked for. And it's great. His cousins probably hate the hell out of him and respect him. I'm saying right now.
Yeah, could you imagine? Because they're super tight, like having to like be that asshole on TV, and then when they're done, like, hey man, come on, you guys want to go get some nachos, or you want to go to the fucking?
They probably get to the back. Fuck your nachos.
Yeah,
say that.
Yeah, he probably has to like overcompensate and be super nice, like hey man, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole on live television, but
the clip.
No, it never goes down like that though. It's like the minute you yell cut, everybody just laughs.
Right. Okay.
We don't take five. Honestly, I've never seen anybody take 5 seconds of that stuff seriously.
That's awesome. That's good.
I like this last clip that they used on the lead-in where he told Jimmy Uso, "You can stand with us, or you can take your ass home."
Yeah.
I'm like, who said that to him before?
Yeah. They were kids. That's probably an inside joke.
But yeah, no, they're doing some good stuff. They're all performing well. Jey Uso really came up during the pandemic. Was good for him too, because he got to step out from his brother's shadow, because the other one's the one that talks all the time. So it was good for him too. It developed him a lot.
Yeah. I just don't see where, I mean, Paul Heyman in absolute peril outside the ring at all times is fucking hilarious. And I know, PJ, you worked a long time with Paul. Is he? I think he's the best promo in the business. Is he always on? Is he? Yes. He's always on.
Yes. He is. Okay. Do you remember the character that Al Pacino played
in Devil's Advocate?
The devil. Yeah.
Yep.
That's Paul. He's the devil.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
He really is. He is the devil. He is the most charismatic person. He'll make you believe anything. Like not in a dumb way. Like he's that good, but also he's full of shit. But you just want to hear it anyways.
Right.
Like you
want him to be right. You want him to be.
Heyman. I've said this many times. I'll say it again here. He wasn't a great booker. He had great concepts and ideas, but he was not a great booker. His biggest talent. He was a great motivator. He motivated an entire locker room to believe in themselves. Guys that were something less than in other promotions. Guys like Shane Douglas, Chris Candido, Tommy Dreamer, Taz, myself. You go down the line. The guys he created, because he made us all believe with his. He took time and cultivated these relationships, like in a sick way almost.
Now,
in a very sick way.
Believe
that, to make us believe in ourselves that we could be this thing. So that was his greatest gift. And he's brilliant for that alone. But he knows he's the deepest. He's the smartest guy in the room. Put it that way. Always.
I'm
playing checkers. He's playing chess.
I think I think it was the documentary Beyond the Mat. They show one of his
yes,
like before the
Barely Legal. It was their first pay-per-view. I was going to ask the same question.
Yeah, when he gave
speech.
Like this fucking Vince Lombardi fucking
this
level.
Is your night. You're not supposed to be here. No one can take this away from you. Prove them wrong.
The better part about that is that was cool. That was captured. He didn't do that all the time.
Okay.
But
that was a question of mine.
He would do that to individuals. Like, dude, he called on a Friday night. We'd get into Philadelphia. We'd wrestle somewhere else. We'd go to Philly by the airport, stay at the Marriott. Well, the ones that were in Paul's clique would, because some guys weren't getting paid like that. Right. So he'd call me and he'd be like, me and my wife, like he'd invite us up. My wife worked merchandise for ECW for 3 years. She was the T-shirt girl. She was in charge of the T-shirts. So, she'd be like, you and Jill come down, smoke a joint. We'd go down, smoke a joint, and we'd talk about next day's show. And Paul would get so deep in head games. One time, and I found this really disrespectful, I was wrestling Shane Douglas, and it was going to be a big deal because this is where Shane's going to just kind of give me his heat. Like, I'm the new Shane.
Yeah.
And he called Shane, put on the hotel phone, put him on speaker while me, my wife, and Heyman are sitting on the bed just talking shop. he puts Shane. Shane, unbeknownst, is on speaker with other people in the room. Shane doesn't know this, and Paul's doing this. You got to make this kid tomorrow, Shane. This is, but and he's going with that Vince Lombardi-esque speech. He did that to everybody one-on-one too. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And what I didn't like about Paul at that moment was, as he's talking to Shane and Shane's getting all into it, and he's selling Shane on putting me over. He's also mocking Shane, like looking at the phone and like mocking the triple threat and like laughing, like
I'm getting you fired up.
Fun of Shane while you and Jill are in the room. But then I thought, it's great, that's funny because it's my time. But how many times have you done that to me?
Right.
Shoes on the other foot, right? So I found that highly disrespectful. But that's the kind of guy he is. He's the devil, dude. Right. He is the devil.
But it's like he's like Belichick, like he gets the best out of you, but maybe not the way that is the greatest way to get it out of you.
Right.
By
any means necessary.
Yeah. Sounds like a good Dark Side of the Ring episode. Just saying.
I got one airing soon.
Oh, which one are you in?
Ride from Hell. I shot that a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'll be out in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
that's part 1 of season 1 or season 3, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah!
Were those
crazy?
Were those guys fun to work with?
They were cool. I mean, it was really bare bones. They rented an Airbnb in Philadelphia. It was just the guy asking the interviews and a camera guy.
Gotcha.
Very low key, mic'd me up, sat me down. And,
right.
They were very professional. Flew me in, flew me out, limo. So paid well.
That's cool. Nice. Hey, can't hate that for telling a story about an airplane ride you were on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
it's very cool. They're doing good things with the business. I'm happy because they care. They're cool. They're nice.
I mean, listen. Who came out more babyface than fucking Brian Pillman after the Brian Pillman Senior episode? Brian Pillman Jr. I mean, you know what I mean?
Linda Pillman came out.
Well, yeah,
Huge.
She was rough. But Brian Pillman Jr.
No, Linda was the aunt. Was Brian's sister, not the ex-wife.
Oh, sorry, I don't know the names, bro. I just know that
Melanie
is the ex-wife.
Right. Oh, right.
Linda is the aunt that helped.
Oh, yes. No, she was great. Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
I was confused. I was confusing the two.
Whoa, Nate, confused?
That was the crazy thing. I ended up the first Brian Pillman memorial show was in 2000. Raven and I headlined. I defended the ECW title against Raven for the Brian Pillman memorial show, and I got to hand the check to Melanie. And became friends with Melanie a little bit because Steve had told me that they had gotten close. And I was close with Steve. And I got to find out real quick that Melanie was...
Bad news.
I met little Brian in the ring that night, dude. He was just a baby. To this day, I still talk to him.
That's awesome. I was going to say, Brian Pillman Jr. is... You want to root for that kid, dude.
He's going to do some things.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's got a long way to go. He's still
for
very
sure.
green.
For sure.
Les Thatcher, who's a trainer of Brian Sr. and a good friend of mine, because they're from that Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky area. And we've talked about this. Brian, unfortunately, not unfortunately, in a good way, he's getting the exposure for being Brian's son, but he's not ready. He's got so much. It's almost like too much, too quick, and I think there's a little fear of, you're going to put this kid on a spot where, he's got under 100 matches and and I did too at some point, but he still has a lot of maturing to do but he's going to be a huge star someday. I hope so. He's a great kid, great athlete, a humble man. I want him to do really good things. And I think he will.
That's a bigger problem with the AEW roster though, isn't it? I mean, there's so many good, talented kids, but they just don't have the seasoning, right?
No. But the one thing I hear, and again, I do not know anything of the AEW's inner workings, but I hear that the younger generation want nothing to hear from our generation.
Really?
That's what I hear. Not from one. multiple.
Wow.
Like they got it figured out. You guys are passe. It happened, whatever. Like where we were told and instructed from day one, you honor your veterans. You respect what the old cats did, the OGs, and do your thing, but also learn the lessons of the past to make the future better.
Yeah, respect the business.
I hear that these guys don't want nothing to do with it. The agents there, very amazing guys. Jerry Lynn, one of the greatest of all time. Dean Malenko. I can go on all day.
That happened.
The guys they got over there, and I hear that they're just like, yeah, in one ear out the other.
That happens in a lot of competitive, like music is the same. Hip hop especially is the same way. Like a lot of time, the young, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't like, your old hip hop shit wasn't that good. This is what's up now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
I do.
And also I know a couple professional hitting coaches. Paul Sereno, he's the hitting coach for the Angels, and there's I know a couple others, but they too say that a lot of the younger athletes they don't really want to hear from the vets about how they did it and how, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all, they have specialized way of doing it. They don't really, it's like, well, what the fuck do you need me here for then? Like, well, like,
Do you think any of that comes from the top though? Because that's sort of how the Young Bucks rose to prominence, was bucking the system and, DIY SoCal, FU, we're buddies with Meltzer. We're going to kill the business and own it. I'm just throwing ideas out. I don't know.
There are definitely, I won't say anything is wrong, like in one way or another.
Right.
That's great. The business always needed to change, but wrestling is such a different genre. It's the respect thing, and it's not even the respect thing. It's just doing good business, putting out a good product, and understanding where you're at. Yeah, like even the ECW indie shit I did and I got famous for, didn't necessarily. I was a main eventer in ECW, but it didn't make me a main eventer in the WWE. Okay,
right.
Let's say that. So they got to understand that they tore it up in AEW and in New Japan. And I know New Japan is one of the biggest promotions in the world. I'm not saying that, but it's a different animal than what wrestling in the States, different format, different content, and different flow. They've got to understand that they've got to, you'd be a fool to be an artist today and not a music artist, for example, and not somehow be influenced by the past and kind of be yourself, but also, not even I don't want respect is the wrong word, but learn from the past, use the past and update it, make it your own. What we always tried to do was, I wanted to be this guy or like this guy, but make it my version, make it more today. And that's what they need to do. And I just feel like it's just a bunch of a mess. There's like no direction, it's like I feel like a lot of those guys got exposed when they got the lights turned on. The red light's on, you're on TV live, go.
Yeah.
They could have used some old Scott
100%.
Hall, Kevin Nash wit. Because when the lights got turned on them and they're on live TV, they're just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Kenny Omega makes me fucking cringe, dude, when he talks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He looks uncomfortable. He looks weird, like he doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, he could be the greatest out there doing it today. I don't doubt it, even though I haven't personally seen it. Because Japan stuff was a different deal. I haven't seen it yet on this end. Personal opinion, I could be wrong. But
you're not wrong.
They're just getting exposed on the 2-hour live show. So obviously, maybe take some of them old school rules that were dropped by those veterans and make it your own as well. Because it's always a process, man. It never becomes a one thing. You're always striving. You're always changing. You're always learning, right? Wouldn't you want to learn and have the biggest set of tools in your toolbox to make yourself the best you can?
Sure.
And I feel a lot of guys are being dismissive of that process. Yeah. Where if you're a real student of the game, you would want to take in all the information and say, okay, this applies to me. Maybe this one doesn't. I won't. Because Paul told me this, dude. He's like, listen to everybody. Take what applies to you and your character or who you are as a person, and then use that. Be respectful. You're not gonna agree with everyone, but take what works for you and use it. It's just information.
Like the revival.
Process it and how you make it your own.
Like the revival.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't tell Don Callis to 69 you in the middle of the ring on live TV. Is that what I think you're saying?
I don't even know what that means.
It was after the exploding barbed wire death match. Kenny got on his flat back in the middle of the ring and told Don Callis to 69 him to make fun of Moxley.
Okay, now I didn't know that happened, but what does that mean? Like I look. I know I come from the ancients where, DX and, trying to do the suckets and be what we thought was cool. I guess it's not cool anymore. I understand.
Oh, it's still cool.
It's still hilarious.
But
like, that's, to me, telling a dude to 69 me in the ring is certainly not cool.
Yeah.
No,
it didn't come off as cool. Believe me, it did not come off as cool.
Whatever.
He said, no, for real, though. What does that mean?
I'm serious. What does that mean?
They were making fun of Eddie Kingston when he came in for the save.
I got you. All right, now I understand.
Yeah, they were making fun of the Kingston save.
Cesaro and Roman are having a hell of a match here.
They are lumping each other up. Cesaro's face looks like he's being dragged across the canvas. It's like all welted up and stuff on the other side, and it was bleeding a little bit. They getting that.
Selling his arm. He's bleeding from the arm, really selling the arm. It's a pretty good match.
Yeah.
That's what's even more criminal here, though, guys, is how hard, like what you mentioned, Jay, like they're bruised up, they're welted up, they're bleeding a little bit. They're laying it in. But somehow we're still not 100 invested. I know, yes, we're doing a podcast, we're doing
right. Yeah.
But I don't know how much this would still invest me. I think it's the fans. I honestly think the fans are like the pandemic stuff. I think everybody's just like over it. It's just so important, I think, to get that buzz in that building back, that beauty of those roaring 15,000, 20,000 people, whatever it is. Yeah. I think that's like desperate.
For sure.
I think
these guys are killing it. Like you said, you made a very good point. They're working their asses off, And I
think July is when they're going back to to full touring. I think it's either June or July. I'm not sure which.
Oof. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know that. Well, I've heard that they sent out, through their talent app, be ready to tour soon.
That's awesome. It needs to happen, because and another thing too, you can't. Even though we hated it when we were doing it, we would do usually, whether you were on Raw or SmackDown, you would do 4 shows a week, 3 house shows, 1 TV. But after you did those 3 house shows, you were ready for that TV. It's like it's such a weird business that those 3 house shows, you could dial back what you do, have some fun, don't get too crazy, but you're getting in sync. You're getting your wind. You can work out all you want. Nothing is like wrestling, because you're talking, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're doing all kinds of different stuff. And it just prepares you. The more you wrestle, the better you will get, the less nervous you get, the more you own it. And I think that just to have live events back and get these guys and gals in there and just boom, 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 it'll be a huge difference, man. I really hope it will.
Yeah, it's. I know New Japan has been touring for quite some, touring in front of people for quite some time, and it really does make a difference.
So did they?
They took 6 weeks.
Damn, that's not too bad.
No, they did a 6-week break, and then they were right back at it. But I mean, that fan base, they're more subdued. They ask them not to yell and scream.
Bro, so that's no joke, though.
It's a lot of clapping, but yeah.
But that's no joke over there. The hardest thing I think I've ever done was I went for a tour after I got fired from WWE in 2003. Johnny Laurinaitis got me a gig for All Japan, not New Japan, All Japan. And I went over there. I did a 30 days straight, wrestled every single day for 30 days. And we were part of the All Japan Tag Team Tournament. I teamed with, remember Umaga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went all the way to the finals against D'Lo and Taka Michinoku. We lost in the finals. But anyways, we wrestled every single day of that tour. I wrestled Muda again in that tour. But what I'm saying is by the time we got to the finals, we were also completely exhausted and beat up. But when it came match time, we were on. It was like, I mean, it was tight. Everybody was so tight and good because of the reps, like football or something, like basketball. Shoot that shot, 100 times. You just get that, you're in that moment. Your body's conditioned, your mind's conditioned, and the only thing you got left to do before you get on that plane to go home, finally, is just rock it. That's what they do. They know how to. It's a great system they have over there. Japan, fucking dope.
It's my favorite style of wrestling going right now. I know some people find it hard to get into like the 45-minute bangers that they have, but I mean, for me, you can't. I don't understand the promos, obviously, because I don't speak Japanese, but to tell that kind of a story in the ring, I mean, there's nothing else like it.
Oh, yeah, that's like a master class. That's a master class. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I certainly have to be in the mood for it, but once you
it's an investment.
It's a lot of fun. The match is over. Roman won.
Did he?
Yeah. I don't even know how he won.
Roman has some big ass. They lumped each other up. And here we go. This is what I've been waiting to see.
Here's my boy.
Okay, this is the one that's on his team.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if he's still on his team.
I just saw the ref call for the bell. I must be way behind you.
Jalapenos? The head of the team? I think they lost. They must have lost the leg. Here, put these on. It don't matter.
Now look at Roman selling it. I love him.
I want him to sock him. Do it! Do it! Man, should have cold cocked him and went back in the back with his brother.
I think he's gonna have Boom. So this sets up Cesaro's next feud.
Yeah.
With who? I'm behind.
Oh.
Need to do something with Cesaro.
Yeah.
Roman.
So do you think this is going to set up Roman and Jimmy Uso?
Maybe, probably. And you know what? If you're them, you're loving it. You're like, dude, we're like all working on top together. The Usos were never this close to main event shit.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
That's right. Seth has been back in the mix too. I forgot about that.
Oh, by the way, Seth Rollins.
I hate these suits. They got.
I love him. Seth, he's like a fucking James Bond villain from the 70s. I'm all in. Like he's like fucking Goldfinger, bro. I'm for it.
I'm just waiting for him to split them tight ass pants. That happened to the Miz before on one of the live shows.
Look at that fucking sport coat.
I'd love to, but I'm like a minute behind.
Oh. I think Seth is gonna take the other Uso from him.
You were an hour behind earlier.
Yeah, thanks, Nate.
Oh, okay. A single faction. All right.
Everybody just fucking up Cesaro. Cesaro's just getting it from everybody in the ring is trying to beat up Cesaro.
They love Cesaro, so they're probably loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for Cassius Ohno to come out and make the save and reunite the Kings of Wrestling.
Oh boy.
That was a good tag team, Nate.
Not a fan of whatever his name was.
What about the Kings of Wrestling? You watching their stuff?
No, I don't like him.
You don't like Cassius Ohno?
Chris Hero?
So why is everybody beating up Cesaro?
Because he's who knows?
Just because he's down.
What was this? What is this? Oh. What if they just leaked like all kinds of like codes to their bank accounts?
I don't know, dude.
Hey, by the way, how do you feel about AEW bringing back fucking chair shots to the head?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Okay, all right.
Because there's a way to do it.
No, I mean, listen, anybody, they don't do that if they don't ask. I always put my hands up.
Yeah,
as long as I put my hands up, I'm protected.
Yeah, I noticed at the Blood and Guts or whatever, there was like 2 or 3 just we're going right for that head.
Yeah, no, it's trust me. I mean, the only thing I don't agree with is when they straight up take it.
What about when they
throw it? Choice.
What about when they throw it?
That's fine. I always get my everything. It never hits my head.
Got it. Okay.
You know, I always get my hand up.
So what did you get the concussions from then? If it wasn't from bumps from the back of the head.
Power bombs.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people have the conception that or the perception that concussions just come from like in the front. It can come from the side, the back. Yeah.
The biggest cause of concussions in my life have been powered bombs, any kablam, spine busters, where you could basketball your head off the canvas.
Yeah.
That's been never off like a cane shot or anything.
Gotcha.
Never once. Not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying with my experience, it's always been like that. All right, it's over. Thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, today has been really fun, guys.
Yeah, it has.
It didn't seem long. I never did a whole live thing for this long before.
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, me too.
Justin, you want to plug some stuff before we get out of here?
30 seconds. It'll go real quick. Just follow me on Twitter, Instagram at PJ Polaco. And of course, ProWrestlingTees.com/JustIncredible. I have over 20 shirts available.
Yes.
And just check it out, man.
Get this man a bigger than $30 check from Pro Wrestling Tees.
I'm trying to tell you.
Kayfabe everything shirt coming soon.
Kayfabe everything. 100% of the proceeds.
Shortly.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And getting in this line 2 of Zombie Sailors retros.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and you're about to get that figure, that long-awaited figure.
Seriously, call Hawkins, cuss him out.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell him some fucking Mark on YouTube told him he's kayfabing you on the action figures.
Thank you guys very much. You've been awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Now my ass is going to get to sleep.
Good. Hey, brother, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful one.
All right.
All right, cool. And for those of us who are still here, let's start with the boss man, Big Joe. What's going on, Joe? What you plug in? What you want to tell the people?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Joe Illuminerdi on all social media. This has been a lot of fun. You guys are amazing.
That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that was great. That went really, really well.
Slow computer having pumps. Anything for the people?
What did I miss? No. Yeah. What I was a part of was fun. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this again next month.
Yeah.
Working on a new guest for you.
Okay.
I mean, I shot my shot with Session Moth, but no response. So I don't know.
Hey, listen, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
And that's another thing. Give me a list of people to reach out to, because now it's become a little bit easier.
I got a teaser for the next. Ooh. For the next WWE Can't Have Back Treasure.
Yes, next week's treasure. Yes.
Awesome. Nate Dogg.
Nathan has skill on all the things. Instagram, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, yada yada yada. I'm gonna have some new T-shirts for my Cobra Law stuff coming out soon, and along with the shirt, I also have another little EP coming out. It's gonna be Cold Slither 3.5. So it'll be a little. I don't normally do EPs, so like when I put an album out, it's like 20 songs. It's like a real thing. Like a lot of people put out like 6-song things, and like my new album's out. It's like, dog, it's like 11 minutes long. Like what? Like your new album? How long did that take? You know what I mean? So most of the time between albums, I'm a year in between because I'm giving you an hour of music, blah blah blah. But Dust Mites and I have a few things in the works, and so we're not going to do another full album, but we should put it out as a bonus. If you buy a T-shirt, you get these extra 8 or 10 songs, which is a cool little thing. So just keep up with me. Nathan has skill on all the stuff. Giandra?
Shay, would you like to?
Shay, we're giving Shay promo time.
We probably have stressed him out. We got him in the daylight. Anything for the people, Shay?
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Silent Shay says nothing. And for me, follow me, Giandra LaBeouf, on Instagram, on Twitter. Don't worry about Facebook. Don't worry about LinkedIn. Don't worry about none of that. I will say this. If everyone could do me a favor, go subscribe, of course, to Bad Culture TV. So I have this exclusive footage of Floyd Mayweather talking down at the Logan Paul thing.
Oh my God, that was such a good video.
Oh my God. So I've got this really great footage, and we got 20-minute sit down with him. I sent my boss, who didn't even know it was going down. I'm like, you got to go film this. You got to go film this. And we were the only people who had a camera down there. And I put that video up for 6 hours, and it did like 50,000 hits in 6 hours. And my boss was like, why'd you put it up so fast? So it's still there. It's just unlisted. So if you want the link, you can watch it, and then I'll make it live again. So I want everybody to watch that.
Got your hat.
The monetization on it was cherry. So, but other than that, follow me. Thank you for all your beautiful happy birthday wishes and garden inquiries. And we'll be back next Sunday with our normal thing at 8 o'clock.
Sure.
All right. So everybody have a great night. Thanks for joining with us, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.